And I no pay ya tenase no ensem and eye dom kuma ede atodwa ensem and dom kese so ede omo response aba na ede na mema frimpom boaten ni nyahota makro ene Christian Amwakunuama we are from said the three wadis SU MPP NDC ni CPP say ekwan omo fa so delegate yi Franka Tufo no omo de omo akokot azonte ebo amwache
yeni o man
now bomb to say
nyame adom
baby aboko ya unso baby aboko
oh radi adom
pay your mic ne kakra bi mame good one
radi adom
nyame anim ni mo ho aye fe mo aye fe papa sante go to fatao pa
theater se
kotu ye hye no kwa
ye nche go to adintra
kotu edi kan Ghana de bia no so kotu I say everything is in order.
but why is everything not in order? Give thanks to God.
Oh me ba
There sem nanke
once we beti ma share kotu ya obeti ma you musika kra create akro bia ni maso the kotu no your perception about kotu ye
prestige but it's good.
Oh what American team mo bia yan so bi share kotu I say
ne hoto no asum dwono oni a ejutu wo ha wo
Your best can is wow.
Oh and there nti nyame nko bi o kotu bia ho so bi she kotu a
En conclude say ne ho ato no bi
nti ase bi she kotu ba kuma eno pe wa o she kotu deja obi kura wan si ode ma was a kotu ye she
o she kotu de wan si di fatal
no
so obi envy no. All right, good people, welcome. Now, and somebody kind. The NDC government has forgotten it has a leadership race ahead, and they've been making noise. DS is going to be messy. I've heard the press conference. No, see, the NDC is making it look like they are not going for a flag bearership race, and they are taunting the MPP, saying all manner of things against them. Ade also muhunu say. One more Franka 2 and talk on a bebano. Ghana won't be that. I think your market.
Let me deal with the first issue of post 31st January in Parliament. As you may be well aware, we've had a very civil engagement from Parliament. We, the 87, those colleagues who have been engaged in this discourse have done so with all civility. I want to assure you that these are internal matters. As for politics, things get heated. Soon after, we all rally behind the leader and the MPP flag to push the party agenda and to let Ghanaians know what we have for them. But you see, the NDC is busy talking about us. What they've also forgotten is that they also have a leadership contest awaiting them. And do also obi fieshe. Omo de npo de kankan kra. Sese a obe hu no ase edun katia o se oko thank you to. Meanwhile no campaign. They are hu ni say Aisa aban won your own preferred candidate. Jubilee House for so more candidate or obedi a flag bearer momo. Na party no so one candidate. Inti enche bi ebedu omo so. But the person can say MPP there. Nyame ya adom after 31st yan ye war parliament. Ya real taso se kwen bi so no. Ye de ba ko ye enka bom e betai ni obewini n'echi.
Owia no ka say what is for a third term for President Mahama. It's not possible. So he's urging the president not to consider a third term. He's warning against party pressures and calling on him to clearly reiterate his intentions. Now, Onya say, "Sa pressure a free party for be whole bani adino on so. Now, ono de omra bonting on sameka ema Ghana for nyina anti say ampa sa third term no because party nukra enam 31st December a year 50 kwete so ama Ghana for you know say woman ye interested. The here woman so be boom my ye. Afenyo market.
Mentioned to me. This presser may not be done and done well without at least talking about this third term agenda. We are aware that Mr. President himself says he's not interested in third term agenda. But we take this opportunity to also mention to Mr. President that, Mr. President, we are aware that many of your party members want to put the agenda. Please tell them one more time. Maybe when you said so in Singapore, they didn't hear you. Mr. President, you haven't spoken about your non-interest in third term in Ghana. Please tell your people that you are not interested at all. They shouldn't lead you.
You hear this morning, new levies have been imposed on already burdened citizens instead of introducing reforms in the energy sector. Minority leader and MP for Futu Alexander Afenyo in his press conference criticizing government over the introduction of new taxes. Let's hear him.
The current stabilization rests heavily on the tight IMF conditions. New levies imposed on already burdened citizens and continued dependence on the same narrow export of gold and cocoa. Now, instead of introducing reforms in the energy sector, they decided to impose levies. Remember that they said e-levy was bad and they were going to scrap it. They were going to outlaw it. And Ghanaians celebrated them when they repealed the e-levy. But let's look at some numbers. They took away e-levy, but utility tariffs alone, so far, we have seen an excess of 27%. Electricity tariffs under Akufo-Addo, where we were paying e-levy at 1.5%. And they were telling us, the NDC told us that it is too much. Today, electricity tariffs have gone up in excess of 27%. That is NDC hypocrisy for you. They also came to Parliament in the dead of night to introduce the Dumso levy, which upon our scrutiny, they decided to suspend it. But again, in the dead of night, they started the implementation. So,
Marking for you. NDC is silent on anti-LGBTQ law they championed in opposition. Afenyo marking, say the one agreement, wajini one tiasi. Send the NDC pa kasafa. Eye sebio e mani me man them e moa ye ni omo da ye ware queer ni wa LGBTQ no afen krofo ba ya afidie di Afenyo market.
And they told the whole world that there was a need to pass an anti-LGBT law. Basically, they said that to protect our own culture, our religious beliefs, there's a need to pass a law that will criminalize any acts of lesbianism, gayism, etc. They were loud on the streets of Accra. They went into our villages, engaged the media, engaged religious leaders, engaged traditional rulers. 1 year down the line, they've been in office. They have gone quiet on this anti-LGBT law. We hear His Excellency the President play on words, claiming that the government was doing wider consultation to see how the law could be formulated in a better way. Really? But was it not the same law that they said it was okay to be passed? And again, when the mighty minority members decided through private members' bill to now pin them to their own principles, suddenly, after all the processes have been followed and approval given, and the motion was on the other paper, the NDC, through its majority leader, found a way of using procedure to claim that there was no such approval by the Speaker and tried to scapegoat the clerk to Parliament. As we speak, they have refused, neglected, and deliberately denied the people of Ghana that anti-LGBT law that they themselves spoke about.
Government has deployed 121 nurses to Antigua and Barbados. These islands are places Omanhene a nurse for. Na Utie Emmanuel Kojejekum, Minister of State in charge of Special Initiatives, I will say, Ade Kyeɛ. Omanhene Yaw Mama share boss of bar. Ombehe say Ghana for womo aya nurse for Ghana nomni ade no ombeko. Bobekaya during President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo penso Ghana for bi eso call Barbados sa na the referee number no there, but we 121 nurses, men and women, our more ekodi juma. The emotion the TV studio. Aye, one more, ye do one more call. I just said, Bosome, Barbados, a buying a bit to moka. Na a buying also so, the Gidis want to be Yakakra. It is near Cuba for Eba Ghana. It is near other countries. We say US call. No more stream, no more just a near my baby. And I want to go. And would say Kwabena Minta Kanda, the old chair, and say, bedroom maybe no. Nipa we no crown numbers no ever cost. Kwabena.
President of the Republic of Ghana to create more jobs for the good people of this country. And today is the turn of the health workers. As you all know, we inherited a backlog of more than 80,000 health professionals who have completed the various degrees and yet are at home and do not have jobs. So as part of government's intervention to create jobs for especially the health professionals, we are exploring avenues where countries have requested our health professionals to work with them. Today is about Antigua. We are working on Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad. And so we'll be doing that in batches. And so today we are here to say goodbye to you, but we'll be following your progress with keen interest. And as you are going, you must be reminded of the fact that you are carrying the flag of Ghana. And therefore, we wish that you go and work with diligence and professionalism. Those of you who are at home watching us, I'm very hopeful that it will get to your turn. Usually, the debate has been the fact that we do not have health workers in our various health facilities, but we are exporting, health workers. That is not it. The availability of health
professionals. Gentlemen, once again, Asante, Professor Frimpong Boateng Yaho, any Christian and Amakunyama. If I remember Christina Amakunyama, former Ashanti regional minister, those way back in 1996. Echo.
So never Ashanti regional minister.
Christine Amakunyama by Kwesi Yanka so by and a former regional minister Ejekum. Daniel Jekum. Yeah. Christina Amakunyama dear. Now she was the first female.
Sir, the regional minister of Ashanti region. Okay. Dr. Christina.
Achapa. See that name say was now almost say a choir CPP, MPP, the NDC Fasoyi delegates. Eko Fasoyi flag bearer. So delegate based flag bearership. Omufi say etiamra. Etu omu court. Na obi busa say eti Ibra MPP eko eyi na timing no. And woman crofo mienu a omo no wo maye MPP for be can in court the abroni. As woman jeje party no.
You 2 against 1 no.
From Bob Boateng che bia no be ka say party no kura wo you fake na nani nye se ode no kura be je party no bio wo so mu yina di o so obi antimi yina di nya hota makro MPP for so mo no te say party eye media no ka say let's talk to the founding member no mo buofu
one of the founding members
papa
of
no
the party
obi a founding member mo brawe ni niam nyina che say wa forfeit ni day ni membership by his deeds and his actions and they akosi no ya ba mo dey say benya you from Pomboatin professor from Pomboatin answer na no mamitio and some of the
me gidi say omo nsem na omo kan party na ye omo constitution so on say maybe Durukwa na MPP over kind 1992 96 na MPP for coalition kwa na nipa say
17
there be o mean kan
2007
onipa na ekoto omo so ba even 92 no omo ye 1000.
Oh yeah, they were 92 was 1000, 93 about 2000 and something. 96.
Ekwa ne omnipa 200 over
211,000 and even more. Because only 58.
Almost 30 years na mre bi na Hollins ne page obi sa. No dey che say ya wie mayi ne no ano no. And so this for so what dey kwa him fa. Na your party no and she say ya no mo dey adwuma abesi ne. And he say political party no awon she say ya omo nam so a. Na me gidi say wo mrasepo bia obotima twala koma party no. No man consider because you kaya MPP for top down, up down, no say na me nyina. I'm for na choye. And now mo ko give proposals to ma about business. And it's a party in shebi no ni nye ho a. What the Supreme Court me ni how Supreme Court will have that power say party no ye mo bia nkonkoto aba nipa say party bi nipa 4 million. Same people ni NDC yo mo nipa be 6 million virtually be ye bi to ba ma wo. Ni pa nyina kwakoto aba. How is that visible? Kwambe ne yemfa so nye no.
Den etia mra ben ya.
De omo kanana. Say enipa 6 million kwakoto aba.
There be omo beto che say ekwan omo fa so yi no. Etia Ghana.
Oh, they
are disenfranchising some people.
Oh, a process. A process. Maybe I'm calling for expansion of the electoral college and deliberately every year bia number na ekwa na ekosoro.
Okay.
Oba kind is for last 4 years mo expand ya fe no ebi mpo do nam MPP fo bi kwa ekokotu bi na man for bika
allegedly yeah.
And you know expansion there it is worthy. How do we do it? And yes oni ba ho so no because o man say maybe to say northern region ba o mi akọ region ho yakoto aba police station for ho nye wi yakoto aba ko kan se nipa ho na wo mo anya vote dia then we can't tell me say mo bia nko to aba and I make what you say you know party no interest hu hia at that time no because wunti can say yes expanding obi ameto aba na afi we are not going to get credible people to go and vote for they do national elections nipa na kokko to aba na afi no almost swati na wo kwa na oba nti me de o masem no me time na mo problem kakra time o mo dey release na ba no especially weekend here MPP for wakoto omo about internal election presidential primacy na do ya be now person say Supreme Court nye dey omo fa sanction to so ana omo nye dey I mean
so omo call for sanctions de omo si omo
oh na si no say dey na be pima ba say MPP for at this time omo nko enter appearance
yes sir na be Supreme Court omo file dey also omo so enter appearance
look at the point the CPP for you so kra no do homobo omo ni pa say we gan amwagwesi wo munyina ana ni party mi ense se wo ayi ala munyina ba ni participate so into omo me dey ensem na omo kan dey me hu ni say party na ye dada na the minority for ne kan omo baby wo ha me no omo ya adwin LGBT no o say na mre me ni bi o wan pipi NDC for during the election 2024 no me dey use by say LI 2462 and I said 264 whatever Galam said you know.
Yeah, 264.
I say.
Yeah.
Munyin through mo buy no. Ye kasa ya as last August na. Eventually mo say mature ya. Say September no me free ho. Am say omo say you Ghana ni bi no kwan say call for a reserve kokoto. E wo koy Galam say. But mine
these are the nature of the reliefs they are seeking.
Yes,
a declaration that upon a true and proper interpretation of preamble and article 1 and 2 of 1733 35 AD 42 and as 55 A. I'm sure Muman Remy Kakra, and we can see a kaya. Get to me, a dorsal pa.
And now, a public
Obon it tougher. Almost say at the same franchise, the ordinary member from also making a decision on who the flag bearer should be. And to say, me delegate, me police station executive, now me constituency, now me name me party card. I didn't know your mammy crime my swimming ko yi flag bearer nipi. Now etia the fundamental human rights of the right to vote. Se menye mfie du ngo twene mammy kwan na Ghana. E mammy kwan mammy tim ko yi to abayi mampani dia. I didn't know party no deny me. Na ye say a delegate ne beto aba. E jo mo fi say etia Ghana constitution. It disenfranchise ordinary voter. And into omunya ne say so what card in Kwandia. But you see what they also forget they say. The party will also have to organize the election and it takes money. The financial aspect of organization doesn't come in. Because one year careful, we grow mukokoye. Pesika muchato also they call organize election. Also this can be a friend say the boa party no come. And sana what's our file and sika what's our dia come. And no crown and no crown the getiam rampo chain. Say I'm will be antwaba. Because I know there Sunny as I say brave now can and limited the public break from contesting. And to me the KB and common cause se party no babe twaba. Enisi etimidi ade bi gina so say wo unisika we dia untimi nyina enu bomu na say yenya obi anon koto bi no sika be no mde bo mo ho bra anabo rekafo ewo ahoma no so amamfi west brashe bedwani anabo me mo ache o
yeah me all the time
me hu ye dodo na nso
na me na dom na me de na no ko
ye mo official panso
apenko me say no no nyano
anabo no a Era fenyo market in Sambi Tuja. Edi kind was say Deda mu ye wo anti LGBTQ honde. Nanka Ghana for him say Omampani jo mama tena dwaswa no. Oni bosume mi ensa kranke ne. Ye wo mra ebo Ghana ho bra ewo LGBTQ. Na so ba e ma ye din. Na ade kra omu ye ya minority no pia ye de call ye no. Era yarega majority leader fa kwan bebre so say speaker nkasa wo ho ntie ko wi ase no wo mo ayire so pampe ama ekwan ni ho say mo betime di say adwuma no kra e wo mrahye bedwe fi nto se obusa mo say na adai
mamen tia no ko
mejo so
asa eko no say that my papa ba do my best na mamen tia enia ya show TV ano pe nyene na menka se mobia kusiapa afete na adia bia afete do bia komaso na nyankopon afa ndc so ama ya yeda ma omo na
amen
le tia won so no president mo se martin pastor
mejo so pa
adia we first time make us our
that's right
mamen pastor opposition there the opposition na dey bia ayo person kofo ete won kan so na ngofo antonka nkofo we be few o se no ma ndc aban within 1 year ye o Ghana ha ama Ghana ni ya tinyina age ndc no mahama aban na tum awonya international recognition international monetary fund IMF World Bank multilateral institutions, bilateral institutions, Ghana atom Ghana sika is one of the best performing currency in the world. You see, say omo ama abonja America ansem na Ghana for be young some that is how I see. Because Andra mas akomachi matnasa she omo press conference. I mean what papa bia e wom. Omo nyakra keye. Omo anya press conference na keye. Now the world ready. That papa no more ya eye bonyen this idea obakache Ghana for. LGBTQI I can want them. And no more breso. Any year bill no. Yes, Council Parliament yeah, so be your bill we that come president of the men sign. That is more serious than Asama working. Why yeah bill? Yeah, the Ghana Sika higher bill. They are transmitting Akoma presidency. Saya Oshaman sign. And then what went wrong? I ask at now. Ubekache say, Yenya, bill no ya sign to do so do ni bill because of parliament no. Yeah, bill no or no ewu. Emrani say new parliament ba Osayan Fufro. That is the person in I say. A new bill I ever started from 1 up to 100. Any baby. You do bill no about parliament. And you do parliament bill by an you. It goes through a process.
That's right.
There were other bills and so on other watches. Though this very important. But all the same that bill no, we are considering it. We are parliament on the 3rd of February. We are going to consider it. It's part of our program. So why are they jumping? Why are they jumping? It's to me, will be some LGBTQ I want them. But the American say, and my press conference now, to me, and you follow, it's your follow press conference.
The Omu raised the issue of say instead saying Kamubaya reforms or energy sector no. Now you've increased new tariffs to the extent of about 27%. At the Ghana near or coach electricity in Shuni, I don't know. And sure, electricity.
Open paper now your calculation.
No,
Open your calculation.
My calculator.
1 year no. You increase the tariffs, utility tariffs, by 27%. From the original amount. Is it true? Is it true? But you make a noise. That's okay. You are some phobia. That's the more can you have them in I'm okay, we have them in a bit of
If we are just a moment back on and say, oh, my penny, your mamma, Mama catch a Ghana for you and said, tell them no when you're interested. Okay. I was Singapore, then swam to party for ni binti. It once I miss you, Diana. Say, tetem, no, and Yadia, a bay juma, and Tiwamra.
Nothing. Gentlemen, nothing.
And ya,
press conference. So the president of the day. And say, a Jumana or anything. And on another term. And we share one term no be now. We both say the whole thing is constitutionally it is dangling. Dangling is say who ye say a continuous 8 years. And I say a separate
Matthias.
Wow. So it is up to the judiciary to the interpretation of the Constitution. The interpretation also pay. Not the interpretation of the Constitution. Not a consecutive. Now, is okay, and then you have the right to stand. And then for the market, you interpret the Constitution, no. Not the who say a separate term into a debate, consent debate, every year. And then for your market, and then PPS, with a press conference.
Now, honorable Gafo, okay, say, obidi one term, no koba. Na sani constitution no ekano. As a enyina ye nti no, e was saying Supreme Court ema interpretation. Enti if say ne koba say Supreme Court ka say interpretation no chese say wudi one term a na enkyere say e 2 terms, which means say just a watcha 8 years na we are. Is it not going to be ambiguous in the sense that president bi betimi aba odi one term near to no asaba no odi one term near to no asada so betimi agina be mpre 9.
You see, I'm not part of judiciary. Me a member of parliament. me a legislator. Me a legislator. Executive arm of government. Intina, a core system no. Our more interpretation of the constitution. What the catch out there? The catch out there. What is happening now? The whole thing is dangling. In baby, you said na wokano. Omuma abakache say a consecutive terms. It means woody 1 year, woody 1 term. Ubet makwanda term atwaso. And now to say woody 1 term we not say you 2 for the next 30 years about woody bakunwi or no. It is the job of the judiciary. It is the job of the Supreme Court to interpret that constitution. And you may know what's up. So when you put this application, let's say you question for this my baby fine. And you on the prerogative, on the choice as an individual who's leading the NDC as a government as to speak today. So maybe that is why I say, and yes, I'm no cry, I can't want to more ready to say. And yeah, assembly, I topic car. I say, I can't want some.
Hey. All right. I don't know about for medals, Yanope.
You, medals, you.
Asante. Asante, you see, now, if it's anything to go by, Honorable Erika Fall is telling Ghanaians, say, we should get ready. Somebody will take this matter to Supreme Court for interpretation. Because since when Ghana for sorry, your problem and they say was say president to be your man of third term and only a how.
Oh, I know they are meaning on that score.
Because Osin Yasem
no.
A Supreme Court, now Supreme Court ruling no. Why am I be do almost?
Oh my, me the chairman meaning in your journey say. The ebesine osenka efunu ni da ho ani da ho mi hu se emphatic o manpanyi ni 2 terms no ran awie whether consecutively or whatever as he saying no we call 4 years 4 plus 4 8 nti say we di bi ne na ye 2 na vie na echi numa echi we say ba nti na make say American Donald Trump o call 4 years we wie ba sa ko bi no. Enti ye de no nya emra no na ye kire mu ana se ye kire mra no mu se enti the minister honorable ne kan de me ne nya adwen o se o mo kwa na obi mpo head take to the Supreme Court by now nya that explanation ne boa ma obi interpretation obi adwumie no fine na twa na de be che obekobiem onkobiem constitution say ni say ndi and me bu ni say o man should be under the boss of the interpretation of the Supreme Court judges. No, it should be the constitution is canon no. Na ko ye 5-4 ne sa anyema ni bi na ko ne ho dia ene na ye kwa na e ba they make what you say it should be emphatic 9-0 and I say nye say ye koto aba say me kwa ko kire ma dwan na say me koto aba wo emra nim kwan so e ba sa dia na o ma na ye kwa constitution
but the interpretation of the constitution also lies in the bosom of the Supreme Court. Asante ye payembo ye do to ho no. Yes, your friend be the spirit and the letter. Meboa. The spirit and the letter. And Troyano ne huma any butainti or mode Troy. It is a banner said there is ambiguity, say. Many women no yajin say na constitution can see any around way. Mona mumechrim. Asante de me bisa de say. Since when did it become an issue, say? So obidi term, nese went to me and ja, no sabe biwa. Young Kobusa Supreme Court to say, I was said to assume you.
And I say,
I'm to assume you, dear Nipacrodo, over to me as I be
I would about Conas and Tosin as you go.
Now, Siabu, what to be that? So, who be the president now? 4 years, no, you 2 are as Siabu. It is a Uba. Would the 8 years and Sanya who say what the Mampani?
The Rudy bomb.
Would you saw the bomb? What to be that?
To us, yeah.
Eti wutie Honorable Erika Fall or see Eko Supreme Court na Supreme Court could decide this say was so mampani esa ko biwa. Eno ne be dia dance here say. Eda say obeko biwa na so nko biwa. Se obeko biwa, obi antumi nsesa no. So wonko biwa. Yeah, we had you. I was looking for this document. The chapter 1 towards effective presidency background. Debbie, where ye? H. Prempe.
Okay.
Oh, never channel. H. Kwesi Prempe for Esmo de Bay. They did not say whether or not. So president to be the 2 terms near there no name almost say they are calling for amendment to Article 62B. 1, to lower the minimum age that a person can attain to qualify election as president from 40 to 30. Okay. The committee recommends an amendment to Article 66(1) to extend the length of a president's term from 4 years to 5 years. Mibo, one must say, it was all mampeni in fear 9 odino. Yenyan in fear num mienu. One more can say, baby, anyone more must say, o mampeni, odi 2 terms. The committee proposed no amendment to Article 66(2), as we find no ambiguity regarding its meaning and no need to extend the 2-term limitation on the number of terms a person may be elected to hold office as president. It almost say, how dear was idea we who say, so will be 82 terms. Say 4 year, you know, and was say a man on court 3rd term, almost be anyhow. Then moments went to me and Casse. So will be the Bakua. Not 1 to 1 to us as you. Not yet be the president Manishigu.
The Vintia say may call a Supreme Court for interpretation on Sir Article 66 here. Okay, now may call as the
and I'll say president no
say president nobody 2 terms
and yet 4 year 2 terms.
What the Bako? What's a bedi Bako? And one your job ends there. It may call for interpretation say now I say odi bomb consecutive. And I say odi ne
now who Thierry Kafla I was say and you know how ye and no tino I was say o mampani no
this worker so onye lawyer ni no pale or MP
and to watch na
go
but there are lawyers who are talking about this issue say the 4 year 2 terms no is it consecutive or if you go through 1 term and my opportunity
Article 66 no say
Mamin kind. Let me go to the constitution because we
okay the recommendations no
recommendation
okay
to the kasa
okay
na asante
the constitution is so emphatic 4 years now 4 years whether consecutive continuous or whatever where do 4 years a year then I make reference to American and Donald Trump one obedi 4 years ebe 2016 ebe 2016 maybe 2020 olusi 2020 and 2024 wasamba obewie 2028 America from waka say because when you to asunti no yen someone 4 years bi msa anto aso
mamen kan Article 6 of the 1982 Constitution of Ghana defines the term of office for the president, setting it at 4 years, renewable only once. Renewable only once.
You better check back pay.
Say 4 years no to me renew and near some kwan was a go back.
And you want to me anwen
no. To want to renew who may be. And the amount kwan now sa baby wa to be kobio. But renewed only once. So why is this that what our penny your mama were renewing? So the ambiguity of consecutive or otherwise no everything.
There was no word called a conservative with someone
consecutive.
Said says how word conservative or say
consecutive.
It is our constitution or more brofuna and trans or no more. And to Supreme Court, but
the Supreme Court for say yeah,
for be metron say home my
because Supreme Court for so omonya careful.
I could open to me.
Because Bibi say about him. 1 year careful, you were going to throw Ghana into disarray. Because that opposition always is here. You are going to arm them.
Oh yes.
To display bravado. The MPP will not sit down. There are people, civil society organizations are. Yes. Can be chaotic.
Yes.
Why do we have to? Because the president I know, John Dramani Mahama.
Also
I will have the shock of my life in the whole world. So I'm not say Supreme Court has say to be caught na president Yeshigu. Hey yo.
Say me
call back na ma nwini nti ahyeagu.
Na Yeshigu so obetra vie so agi aketua.
No obetra vie no ye ka say we former president na ahyeagu tie tua ne ka.
Yeshigu nti entua ne ka. Onko mienu amum.
Papa na nya adwefan no wampu man no wa ye first year. So man hwe ya Fifi Kwete ye general secretary. Johnson is the chairman of the NDC. One be you very key in the party. Obviously, the party is not interested. If the party CEO and the board chairman says, "Woman, you're interested," and you do get when you're winning.
Na Fifi Kwete na kontonu so nya bi.
Fifi Kwete no office on the running mate won pe.
Abrabona ye bono bia.
E bokore ni.
Eju omususu no omunya ya.
What about there?
Won be ba ko.
Yeah, Asante. The moment your mama becomes a third-term president, NDC, the next years, you should forget. When him enter. Now just were the 8 years.
Yeah.
Ghana for be 12 years. After 8 years, uchu mutambeko. What did I mention?
Na kute di 2 kura ka no wa.
And no betra mu ahonim. E be ba no say.
Omu nyina ko retirement.
Why na mo ba build no? No akọ ballot no so for the first time.
General Beko retirement.
Because Yahweh, Asante.
Omu nyina Beko
next
retirement.
4 years, Omanhene Yaw Adu-Boakye, there is going to be a new candidate.
Yes.
Even if he loses, what on the watch Ghana?
Yeah, or the no wa be chere Ghana.
Say Bawumia na be win, the candidate never win in the Obeko say even MPP wins, MPP forward the next 8 years or 4 years. There's a possibility say 4 years or maybe 2 number. Say any panel lose here na saba. Omanhene Yaw Adu-Boakye sako jina bi wa tranketi MPP for NDC. Presidential aspirant to be up for the next 12 years. Why would he do that? Why? No, but they are not for no. He's it's a member of parliament. It's all can't be a party.
Or no,
party for
the lawyer ni me mrasibijani.
It's on your
lawyer. Some no can on tiase.
Okay.
Some mine on tiase. Tino can trasa.
LGBTQ.
Akuta LGBT no papa professor. Kwabna from Pom Boatin Komu ya.
Enche bi ene Kofi to be chichiku.
Mu akunta. Professor Kwabna from Pom Boatin Komu ya na ne Asante Ebuedi na me de kakre so. Akuta so voters ID card. Asante Ebu say osu obi. Mimi obi. So Ghana card. Asante Ebu say osu Ghana card. Akuta yen sori ne nko Jubilee House.
So say.
See you could be president. Say asema Professor Kwabna from Pom Boatin kan say. So okuta party card nko ade a.
O say ma kwan ma to aba.
Kwan na to aba na we take decision. Na de ma party no. See ya President Mahama so until no take decision. Ekuta party, ekuta yi voters ID card, ekuta Ghana card. See Ghana for any tomano. Iti yanko take decision more mine. Akota what ma say.
Okay.
If so bia kuta card nti obetimi yama no kwan no nko take decision more mine dia. And you win ya see ya koto aba na ye members of parliament. Ni ye
and even when they say is the person should be of good standing. To be all card until you should die. The near the castle in our tia party.
I didn't a professor from Pom Boatin Oluma for your Marco pension. I could tell you
to see a go craft for
the lawyer to the parties require a suspect.
Oh, are they? So what can we say?
What is it?
Every card-bearing member of the
should be allowed.
Of NDC and MPP should be allowed. So on Kotwaba, Enkoyi leaders and former party media. And you know me, you see a kuta voters ID card. It's young Konya parliament. But Benka order ni yina sorry. Yes, you beduna Magana because yina Ghanaians.
Your Ghana card.
Your eligibility to vote. Yina your eligibility to take decision for the country. It's mama ya kwani yenye. Where from this logic omoke can't me? Akuta at every point in Abrabom, yewo mpanimfo bi a omo dad akota sorry dem kra enke yi sorry mpanimfo yeyi elders yeyi deacons yeyi church leaders ne sa na ema na ada omo to omo nkwa sorry ana Professor Frimpong Boateng ni Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo omo nkwa sorry ana omo commerce omo nya de omo church no they are landed mpanimfo ne kan so ma bo omo bra omo distinguish omo
de ma omo de ama we
de do so kro mo doctor
who's a professor
doctor
now when him say do maybe na MP before na kwese a doctor for na eku omo
nye no akweta
doctor ba ko nka ho
doctor ba ko be
madam for na
de wa brochire
de bu kan university no
amakoba de bi so de waja party no
de bi o eh
we na continue party
amakoba
kweta wonti
your friends say
me pa ma kweta
all right mamini ko fit tonto to chin come on pay
Kennedy
ya told me dey no so ha dia mamo abenu ko fit tonto e wo fie ha no mo na okay na enti muntie me article 66 no oh yeah now because Dominic because all the article 66 see to so ama me na oh my goodness term of office of the president anyway the article 66 of the 1992 constitution says a person elected as president shall, subject to clause 3 of this article, hold office for a term of 4 years beginning from the date on which he is sworn in to January 7. A person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms. The office of the president shall become vacant, A, on the expiration of the period specified in clause 1 of this article, that is, Onya Mfie Naya. If the incumbent dies or resigns from office or ceases to hold office under Article 69 of this Constitution, the President may, by writing signed by him and addressed to the Speaker of Parliament, resign from his office as President. The 4-year term is renewable once, allowing a maximum of 2 terms. So why is the ambiguity here? Woman penina wo ba be di ade no. Onya mfie 9 wi a ye betimi ama na kwanya ama na gina bio another mfie 9. This provision's significance is to limit the concentration of power and uphold democratic principles. Discussions have emerged regarding the extension of presidential term from 4 to 5 years. Enunti anu de Professor Prempe committee no commission no de abetu dwa say emfie na no yemfa nkofie num me kai brebi omampani John Ajekum Kufuor ebekọ o December 2 dwa say nkebe ya nka Ghana fo yentumi momodina na yenhye se de be ya eniema betumi akọ wano na nka Ghana yetumi de emfie na akofie num wo mo ye ni nyina wie ye no kasa bebere ko ho anopa wutie anu abo Erika Fola amamfi nasmo kan say Supreme Court interpret say omampani dwomama betima akotete mu enye Ghana fo asem na wan obedi no so where lies this kofi mi mo ache mo akwaba na umpom to say afishia pa menim say wo krom hanom a na Dr. Mahmoud Baumia a oboni chidom tina wa ma probo ne ko say
nyame adom ene de ni na baba wi
ene
be sha se wo robon so na ya ye fija se kuma abe wi wo me sha no sa pepe mete
na je say mo de wi na je say wo free ha dia nya dia obeba ha bio
David say
na ko siesi no
o hwe mre na aka ne dia
okay
kan ne fo be say ya san na ya ne sa
okay Obeko ba bibio region bibio.
Yewie ni.
Ma wie bibia.
276 constituencies.
Bakoni nyina. E ma ya de.
Na we ka ho a imprinsia, imprinson wako.
Ghana nyina. Imprinsia. So then your words like marketability ya ton no.
Oh, I know.
So sa na mo kan dia na say dimu. Because in fit be mic ni kakra ma.
Oh, even 2023. On the 2008 Okoye. 2012 Okoye.
2016
Okoye.
2020
crowded, not so much.
Yeah, because of
at that time
Jumania.
he was a vice president. But besides, these are all as a candidate, not one even as a vice president.
Okay.
And so to quite be Ghana. But they make Kenya proba Okoye as a candidate, either vice candidate or
the
main
flag bearer.
candidate. And so now 2023, Osa Okoye. And so now 2024, Osa Okoye. And now 2025-26, Osa Okoye. So until even just the last 2 years were comprehensive. Ghana nyina. Nti say ka marketability enye bibia sebe ye bosirim ka. Na no ye ko atwema atwema kwa homa.
Okay.
Nti me mesi Africa mu a me ko. Na me hu say mofra bi twam. Nti omo akoye no say oh me de me peba o me a chen mahama. And Krano omo age grand rule, I think the oldest will be 8 or 9 years. And I'm a general Musa say, Omunim Bow, I also Omunim Bow. I'm so Omunim, also Oba Mukrum. Nan Crania 4, Nami, almost no voter region. I feel no my better. To tea or more castan crana, Tony
she known said that.
I feel now so Musia. Also, no more voter region or Baho. A bechel, Maddy. And these are young crown share uniform, yellow. I'll move free school. Tobacco castle made them a pebaumia, chem hammer. And a man, my dream bar, so I'm a Gina or more. Now, me petanka me video, but no more young. So I also felt, say, politically, exposing them, it's not a good idea. So I didn't do that. But make I say maybe now you call northern side ho baby. Nti ye nam kwan so aye kwa na efi tamale na na ye call I think say wale or gambaga baby. Ye nam kwan so aye kwa na school for afi na mo be march anopa na makọ classroom. To mu bus ni say twam sa time na 2024 nti na yeah the bus no na the picture. Ya na nkra no. I mean these are nkra mo di bi abese class 1, class 2 omo dinrika baumia. So we had to even stop the bus.
Okay.
To engage them. I can give you several examples.
I
can give you several examples. A show say papa no yaton. Na what think for be I want say marketability does not mean electability. Ne sanema na mijili se wate saka marketability, of course. Electability one features and then yema yehwehwe.
Je nipa eto abama no. Nipa ya ton.
Nipa ya ton. Ade mean. But won't mean achieve the second one, no,
without the first.
Without the first.
Now one ko ton abeda ya to.
Exactly. So even though the first doesn't necessarily mean the second also cannot happen without the first.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nipa bi kan someone no can try. Of course, marketability doesn't necessarily mean. Emphasis on necessarily. Because it can necessarily also mean electability. Doesn't necessarily mean electability, but you can't achieve electability without marketability. And as it stands,
Sisi
you can say Yera Akufo-Addo ni Yera Mahama, Ghana and Manyo Sem. Omumi you no free wa.
Nipa ni din wo nipa bia.
Obie ni wa owo ho achinyide.
So onimba Bawumia.
So onimba Bawumia. Now, if your question is electability, that's okay. Because even Mahama at a point had electability challenges.
For 2 terms.
For 2 terms. Until nipa bebre mo kan sam no na mo tena se analyze ya na. Because Mahama kra ne wabeye sebe agenkwa ama Ghana nipa binum. Mahama so a savior. For 2 terms, he was not electable. Akufo-Addo for 3 terms. And son obey electable. Akufo-Addo, yes, were arrogant. All manner of things. Yes, were short. All manner of things. So, but the underlying factor is you must be marketed. Na se wo electability challenges are.
Why you ho
Yera Bawumia marketable. He's been marketed already. And the fun say our electability challenges are at least we have one challenge. If you mean sample,
or the best
no. Now who need electability? Who so who need marketability? Who momo say we a papa sene the ono back. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Who need, of course, some of the other candidates, Bass Antiman Temo, call and Krampuniman Temo, call, some of the major, of course. But you see, marketability, and yet you are Kumasi Onimu.
David. Deep.
Yes.
I say your hinterland. I've noticed something.
Yeah.
Not because you are here in America. I've noticed something. After election 2024, the whole of 2025, one T-shirt I am very popular across Ghana. Bawumia T-shirt. Is this a T-shirt ni wo na man farmer wo? Ana ye to abani we na party for nature. Ana mo a strategy amoche. Because now, utimi shia obi.
No Bawumia T-shirt.
Na baby are okono. Bawumia T-shirt no, they are wearing it with pride.
Yeah.
Oh, who knows why MPP ni say be our party ni no even party for na cranche. But across Ghana, I stand to be corrected, but that is what I have noticed.
Yeah.
Why is it so?
Because you see, as I would take the psyche of Ghanaians, I would tell you, Ghana for betting ya chonso ene, so no more wasempa.
So umre nsoi.
Kodi lies. Unim, obi can say be chire me were north. I don't know how true it is or not. But catch me say Kofi. Enipa bi wo ho a omo wo north. They support Bawumia 100%. But omo say Mahama ye Bawumia nua panyin.
Chomaninko.
Onko Owia. No keto ano so waba. Tinya so omo mpa o. Ba obi wo hokra na ne cultural understanding in life no. Say ade apanyin ne keto aye no. Ye ma panyin wi ansa. Ne de maketo.
And even on the marketability, if you put Omanhene Mahama and Bawumia there.
Yeah.
Mahama was more marketed than Bawumia.
Of course, because Mahama,
going to that election.
Of course.
Very popular.
In fact, say nye Bawumia mpa. Okay? Say nye Bawumia mpa. And na marketability wise or ben Bawumia
Mahama kakra.
There was nobody. Not Alan Chematin, not Kennedy, not Educhu. In fact, all the 9 other candidates are money Bawumia contested. Omumu ba kukre ni wa ne ba marketability and no drew Mahama half.
Okay, that's true.
It is a fact. Omumu ba kukre ni wa ne ba marketability and no drew Mahama half.
Say ya ton no.
See ya ton no. Because obi wo ha
for the whole year on her TV da. In fact, 4 years in a TV on her bida. Ni TV over her and say a ballot paper na betu nenim. No Mahama. That is the only say want to quine rag Ghana sabi. Yes. Me adwuma ye nti no makoba bia. Utimi kunim say Ghana ha ye baby o use donkey. Donkey no mo dey transport. And that Ghana 2026.
Means of transport.
Means of transport. Afunumu. Ghana. Me pese me bodino e dey go sabi. I don't know how the people there will take it. But donkey. And yes say me many. Ena yo imkrobi wo hɔ a menua wawura kro ni mu no ekrobi a hye kro na chi
oyɛ na chi
sani pa no he TV da ono de wahu a ye Mahama picture wahu o ballot paper no
and answer poster bi e de bebo
and poster bi e de abebo
to we de mini no
look obi ti say Apalu cry was popular than some of our candidates.
Yeah, Kofi Apalu.
Yes. Do you know why? Because logistically, Apalu, Ghana tokro biye ni wa bekomu a unhu Apalu flyer and an poster. Until the other day, mini shams, hey, chama, also what do because tokro biya ya komu no, ubekona Apalu poster eboho.
Obo rem.
I don't know how he did it for such a small political party. But Apollo was even marketed far than some of our candidates. Enti Ghana for no bi wo ha se China Mahama free paper no so a ade a wahunu bio Bawumia. Enti ubetena nkran ya kan economy. Ba vote ni be free nkrase ne be ba no. Na Bawumia de atwam. Onti ase. Because ono no wote ho no be any decision I will take here believability. And for a lot of people, believability is consistency. So far as I want nipa no baako mienu miensa no free say nipa no obetimi agene edi obetimi aboa believability. Entina untimi emfa kandini bi nko na won say nyine mfa foforo nye den enko psychology.
But your opponents will tell you when they realize Adu-Boakye couldn't help, they brought Kufuor, and Kufuor
went argument na ekofa sa kasa say bai Adu-Boakye wasum ne somo a wasum ye ene ne elections a okoye ene yewura Kufuor nso eba obaye. Sometimes you have to even look at history.
Okay.
Some reno den they see
culture of silence.
What I say? I mean, a whole different dynamic. Some reno pono. Nipa saying and an hour tone. Nipa na momo.
Kakrevi.
You get my point. Until what you want now compare certain things. Look, I now know a color. Japan. No, I can say 2007. Even 2007, only 10 executives pen and air to Abanibi. Across the 230 constituencies that time. 10 executives times 230, 2,300 delegates. So Safako achieved 1992.
They were almost about 1,000. And now we are 211,000.
200. And so how do you even do this comparison?
Okay.
Doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. Because that time, Kufuor didn't have to go and sell himself to 220,000 people. And the Nipa 1,000, they were there from the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Or creme de la creme.
Yeah.
The elites of the elites.
And a netwaba.
Enti sa nkofo we de omo na omo aha na net ho dada
Omo no omo ana num tea. Omo no omo ana didi. It was a matter of who do you prefer? Keke. But we can't be Bawumia no cry no. Wahunu no TV so. Wahunu ni in person. Ebia Kojo Chirematin. Wahunu ni ebia TV so. Ba na ni cry wahunu ni da. Obu okra wahunu ni da. And no one said na ye can. You can't compare the two.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense. And until this time, no, the marketability factor is far more important. It's far more important. You cannot undermine that aspect of the debate.
Okay.
Enti yewura Mahmoud Bawumia ya tono. Chain obia. In fact, Ghana amanyo semu si yi sene medical ka yi yewura Mahama friwa. Nano abayiwa bi young girl ye koto 2024 abano. Ope mmebunum no a na omo kasetia aban ne pa MPP aban no ka ho bi. Babunu just about 26 27. Na no otro no wo ho se ono onye MPP ni. But obetimi aka say yewura Mahama ewie na manyo semu a dear in her mind or sefata wadi ni huni watu na namon year or sefata se Ghana yes yedene akonwa ne ma no Bawumia. This is a girl was super Bawumia a super NDC MPP, but in her wisdom no was it there be. Of course I disagreed with MPP.
That's right.
But ye pe die wakosa no na ya pro ni widie mu na ne widie a ya pro mu nyina wanya fapem a kire se owa ahonidie owobuo owa ahobrase owo sebe nimdie a ye de kikire o man wafa nimdie no ahofasuo
Officer Omanhene Yaw Adu-Boakye.
office Owia. Now
Next
that
person in question
yes,
should be Dr.
She doesn't like Bawumia. She doesn't necessarily like Bawumia.
Na you say yes ompeno but na or prefer Mahama.
I prefer Mahama.
But who say upon all the niema or kan no na or kan de ama Bawumia aye unpopular na Mahama pija. Enti we dia office nipa no wo hwe no ni suni ne ban a ogidi se Ghana for man kwan a
ebi won pa me nua adam material time no aye niema bia ma ne buofu.
It's possible.
It's actually factual.
How do you take away this issue of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia eka ho in a member no shembi the integral part economy or Ghana friwa kwaya digital way and they edi asem na so we need oka ka kire Ghana for looking at what Omanhene Yaw Mama is doing. It looks as if say the opponents are telling Ghanaians and the delegates there, Bawumia was in the soup and I'm losing. Why give him that other chance?
Question I will say, Akwa ne Dawson Bibre. Akwa Ade Kyeɛ say Bawumia was in the soup.
Yes.
What about the other people? Were they also in the soup?
They don't see themselves as integral. But Bawumia say, economy no BPI.
Okay,
no,
so
went to me.
You found one by one.
Okay.
Were they also in the soup?
They were.
Uh-huh.
Brane Champon in the latter part was the agric minister. Educhum was the education minister. Kennedy Japan became the board chair of Ghana.
Anope mi ba na wo kan Ghana amamra. Amamra ne nsem a wo kan ne se Omanpanyin ne de oman ne sikasem nyina gu na bam.
Bibia hye ne sa.
Na emum Omanpanyin sikasem a de gu na bam no ne ho ani suade hu. Onkru kire ngu nkrata bi so a ye frɛ no akohomabo sika. Sa akohomabo sika na ye ono Omanpanyin ani suade hu se bebam se mmem. She said nipakuo bi e de omon se tim so.
Okay.
Say nipakuo no ye from members of parliament. It is Omanpanyin Ekufuado ani suade hu no kruchire gu nkrata so. Na Bawumia na bo ane ma ne kruchire gu nkrata so. na ofori ata na bo an ma ne kruchire gu nkrata so na cabinet nyina agitu wo ne de call parliament wonim say Ghana yama mremu no se sam panyimfo na wo mrahye bedwam anya ntomu a sa omampanyin ani suade hu anya adwuma enti so omampanyin ani suade hu amba omi abo ano no a omo kan se na enye papa hwan na de ne nsatim so ma ne be adwuma mrahye bedwafo unim de enti a sabio obi betimi akasa won ka ho because on my way no to an extent we don't hold parliamentarians accountable for their decisions.
That's right.
Because other jurisdictions, their friend say vote count and vote record.
Yeah.
And tinka every vote to be a your record wo.
Emredu a edibusa.
Emredu a edibusa.
Say ye koto abatia tia na ye to ama we utu ni say. Oso pe mampani e de na chese ye to aba ye ba mampani ade we Ghana ha ntesa
so ni tie o unu nuanom ade ba akọ amobọ mo homodin ne say it is clear say moye mo research.
That's right.
Me tie mu bia ene constitutional review na answer no wo de ba last minute.
That's right.
As someone will say opinion ne kan ni nyina no you brought the answer last minute.
That's right.
When you read that article about one consecutive or say 2 terms
and renewable once.
Answer no dey buy.
Yeah.
So we say mudi nkomo ni nyina wie na the answer ne beto. So we say we call seek clarification with Supreme Court. Supreme Court no
Emrana say renewable once. It's clarification.
I know see 2 times. It you know doesn't you don't need and in fact H prempe answer our question. Say
they do not see any ambiguity.
Did not see ambiguity. No.
Yeah.
Tell me because you well researched.
Almost so many bibia.
Going back to a debate, wouldn't say America, any other jurisdictions, every vote be anti say, who ye senator and now your congressman na say dachi who be paid to me. In fact, ye kofa o record ni nyina ba na ebusa say ade we woto so aba ade we
woto to say taxes we to say
yes.
Health to say Obamacare to say when they were taking a decision on Iraq to say
yes.
To say so ye come na public no take a decision say wo ye to abama ebe go when him there ebu a one vote to be correct to me disqualify but I enya ne sa yeah parliament will be na vote no cry ye kan ye di records
so eno na ma obi fa ne ho di na nka wontimi meka nkyira me say omampanyi abadi akira amra ma ne tumi se otimi ye bibi ono de amra no ana emoni din o ono de ne dia wo ya ye adwenkyere wo de amra ne bo odin se fa won sa ye den etim so wo se wo de won ka ho wo be kai sabe me ya na me mpese meka obi asem ba me de ye mfato wo be kai Owia Kennedy asem wo be kai ne se levy ono ne fa fon frɛ adwo asafo se omre fie meto aba o 11 wo be kai
yeah
unim ade ba ko egu aban we pa levy apart from say na Ghana for mpe no unim ade a levy de yen o kai say yeah, we were shut down from the international bond market. It was because of levy. Let me explain. Aban bia wa kohuma bosika no wo de wudie ne de unya enti levy no na wo de ebenya no side enti international market na ehwe se afimu no de ubenya nie na usika wusu benya no de na di mu tintinman ba akopa ye levy afi wo de call parliament am pass for 6 months na wo debate enti am pass for 6 months a wo debate no and the man international market for say you need confidence
and to hope the bond by yento
levy enti levy na di nya no say Owia Kennedy na nkasa na bi na no muton say ono na frɛ adwo ase brabeto levy anu nti Ghana fo gina so to abati ayen enti nkayen ka say Owia Kennedy na say economy wo de share Owia Kennedy nso a enye ye because oka members of parliament
mo take
his decision in the abo aban no sana ba omi anso ka cabinet ho Enye de ebi kura na Kennedy yes ano. Na nka enya na hungunu so, enya ne peso. But na MPP adwene no. Hia saa de ni ntino. Ebi wo kura omampanyin na befrɛ se Kennedy. Adwoa wo de woni ne wo mamienu. Frɛ no. Na yehu bibi. And he said they say empanyin chief of staff frɛ no. Say help us. Inti Kennedy ni anka ne boni awaye ne sen. Inti bisa question na mi busa Yura Kennedy. Eno omo aka ne say Bawumia no nso boni awaye ne sen.
So what the baby ba ye say yemfamo.
Say ye take parliament, ye take cabinet. Na ye to adwene. Na ebi a machere madwene. Ebi a ye fae. Ebi a yamfa. Ye wie ya me madwene a machere no. Ye de me abesi abonten say me na me say economy. Enso mra upe obi apam no afa economy no ho nya Bawumia na aka ase empam no. Ken ofori ata na aka ase empam no.
Because mo emu temuni niema a
onim de akọ and members of parliament here musa omo a yewura papa ya owo Asante Achim
say o kasama branch.
Yes, or say wo friend meeting kra o ma on na be kan yo nti eden na munim saa no kro we nyina me ade ba akọ a yewura Kennedy oka abeye sebe na shenso de ba akọ no say oka no kre nti yewura Kennedy onim no kre no kosa no ya ubusa mi yewura Kennedy onim no kre no na odi ye wa ha nyame ma ye nkwa one day he will speak the truth. I'm telling you, you say fasa baby so one day the truth will come from Kennedy's own mouth. It will come from Brian's own mouth. Enti Bawumia nyina baby nka say no one ka ho. Was see in fact emra okọ Kempinski a oni media fo hia en ababa wa ba akubusa ne se o mampanya be de kire dien na o regret pa and was say ade a o regret pa ne say wenya gold reserves ni gold for oil ne hu nsusuye ne ntem.
Okay.
Na eba ne se anisuade hunu ma no
after 2021
kwa ho hihia no ntimi na ti no pe bibia obetimi de aboa ene ba ne se anisuade hu ene ode boa na nka onya saa nsusuye ne ntem
2017
best 2017
ka saa oyi ne we anto
saa oyi ne enu munu a o ansa no ene o kan se me die na me wo cabinet hobi mintimi nyi me hu frim de esi ye bia no me ka ho de ensi bia me ka ho ye nyina eden na nipa ba ko we di no kre na ye so a o man ne haw nyina ne de kogusa nipa no so emu orem na yanso ade a enipa bi de ye yewura Mahmood Bawumia no minua wo wa ha se ebe dane abankofo bi so a omo nso be yi omo ano a omo ntimi nyi enam kasa bi ene omaka na no minua Kwabena Boateng ejo so MP okwa afidie bi so ena omo busa ne se adan na mayento ma Bawumia o se Bawumia no mu kasa o kan ye ewo economy ne ho ye de economy ne ma Bawumia no wantimi anye ne yi Kwabena Boateng member of parliament okọ ho no de asie bi a wonim enra no sa akọ afidie ba akoso ne ebusa ne se na u nipa o support you wa kan sem bebre unu masama Kwabena Boateng ka so yes no kra wa kan na emom wo kan de ball MPP ho ban.
Oh okay. So not just said then Bawumia do ye the ball wan ho ban.
That's the question.
Okay.
Bawumia do ye the ball wan ho ban. So one say Bawumia de wo di abo no sobo say enu nti no ontimi nko 2028 nya asem nkan because economy na o kan ho asem na mahama be economy ni yi. Enti se mahama be economy ni yi dia e de na Bawumia koka efri so na ono ananu mu nsem ebeyi ne ka Kennedy de ebusa wo no wo se nanu mu nsem na ntimi nyi ne ka fi so na o de bo party ne ho ban. Second leg to your question, obi a obeka sa asem ni bi aseden na wokoka no na onim MPP wo de wo ye minua panyin wo ye sofo pon wasum ewo oman mu ewo sebe nsori mu ansa na afidi kɛseɛ mu yɛka Ghana bakɔsɛm ne yɛn sikasɛm ne ɔman no mu kyekyere a titiri yɛamanyɔsɛm a wonim MPP yɛn fomsuo nyinaa kyiri no aban bia ni hɔ a sebe yɛbɛtumi aka sɛ ɔde anisuade hunu ahorow aba free SHS LEAP free maternal free school feeding capitation hwan metumi abɔ bɛ 100 wo ha me say MPP yɛn fomsuo nyinaa kyi no adeɛ baako a wontimi mfa nsan MPP ho ne sɛ yɛtimi de anisuade hunu foforɔ yɛ den ɛba bi a ne yɛ mu no obi betimi aka sɛ free SHS no nka mo dane ni sɛ yankɛyɛ LEAP no nka mo yɛ ni sɛ yɛ but the bottom line ne sɛ yɛde free uniform so yɛde hwan ne nyinaa ɛyɛ MPP na de ba enti sɛ wonim MPP a na ne wonim sɛ ɛyɛ party of ideas
okay
enti it doesn't matter sɛ bi a enne yakɔ ahohiahia mu party na prove from Yewura Adu-Boakye mmerɛ so in fact from Yewura Victor Wusu mmerɛ so eba besi Yewura Adu-Boakye mmerɛ so eba besi Yewura Kufuor mmerɛ so eba besi Yewura Kufuor mmerɛ so eba besi ma Yewura Bawumia mmerɛ so party na deɛ baako a ayɛ na ho fasuo ne sɛ de bia yɛ wadwenkyerɛ foforɔ a yɛde ba etimi gye ɔman ne si hɔ ɛnɛ ɛnyɛ me na meka Joy FM ayɛ investigative research say eba gold for reserves ene ye te so aba papa na eye Bawumia na de bai senyo hosia ono mpo be defend eye gold board ono ananum ton wo TV so say gold board de mo ye ne de ye but idea ne de eye Bawumia na de bai
gold purchase
yes Sami Jemfi a oda gold board ano ono ananum ton we say gold reserve no de mo na mo de bai na kwan a mo fa so ye no ene ya be ni yi. What it means is that you belong to a political party of ideas.
That have ideas, that changes.
That changes. Enti no, emre sisa no, ye won susuye foforo ebetimi de ayeden. Aba. So how can you say den ye koka? Se wo busa sa akosa na wo answer ne se one kasa party no ni party.
Na say one crown so when you need the old day until be pay amembo na.
Exactly.
Because you should be prepared.
You should be prepared.
Say you to abama me ami wadwin
exactly. The tosumi and santi as our question no e bogus. And they say that question presupposes sabe sa kosan no e kire se Ghana for de o madwene no ejina faako. Ensisa. Enti se opanyi uti e komodo na bia medi nsuo brewa na echina manamu bi a me tu no emwa wo de wuntimi nka se me nua me da ase se wo di nsuo bre me nanso ba bi a wo de me koyi de emwa me so ho de me kire no you see it also presupposes say oman no ensisan ye beba chi se oman na say answer there must be bad governance for change to occur.
Okay.
That be in fact me maka say President Mahama ye nyina ye pe ene ye mpaebo se besi ni yi e wona ne akwantuo emfie miensa aka no say President Mahama etimi wie expressway a wo kan ka me ntena bus mu 6 hours
2 hours 3 hours no
madu but the answer hu ni say Ghana fo nso wani so ade hunu ba bi o mo pese o mo man na eden edru it is a President Mahama wie na dwuma Ghana fo no betimi aka say mo akwapa no kwafo wadi kakra ho no kre nanso ba bi a ye pese ye kɔ no nipa we ani so ade hunu na betimi ayɛ aboayen
to why you wafamu de
why you wafamu de
e bia nipa amode ne bre yen say onsi wana mu no ye de ne toto MPP de ne ho a MPP de ne betimi aboa
e betimi aboayen
ana nipa na amode na ba no obetimi de akoyanim
yes
and they are about to know I sisa
exactly nti bro for cancer me say dynamic yeah enti say wo busa sa question say den na Bawumia koka answer me ensa na me de ama wono one kasa no one na sa question na wo busa no
say wonye
krado one kasa wa moaboa ho enti me nua Yewura Bawumia osefata na no Metro Mass for Abranteɛ ne kɔtena TV3 ɛna ɔmo busa ne sɛ tap and go na Bawumia de baeɛ. Journalist na asɛm a ɔbusa no ɔse the tap and go that Bawumia Nanado administration
introduced
brought at the embers of their
Reign.
governance. No. What is your take on it? Abranteɛ ne sɛ oh yɛ baeɛ no na ɔmo implement it to 45%. Yɛabɛ pagya mu aboa meaning say the number of buses are now more bi no you bear 45%. You see abe pagya including more buses at 90%. You see kana pagya free 10 million to 17 million.
So a card be now the toha.
What the toha?
Now we're unhia conductor.
Unhia conductor bi. Or see because of sa card in it almost see kasam a pagya from 10 million to 17 million.
Also ticket to me for BC.
Yes.
We so the ni nyina akogum.
Enti un say
ni nyina aka digitalization.
Ni nyina aka enti un say Nyankopɔn edi Bawumia ho adansie nkakra. Enti wan hwe ya mfie miensa ne beso no. Na adansidie na besi. O de mo ya asofo munnim de adansidie timi ye. Na adansidie na bekanfu ase abrante ya hwe ni ye. Enra no ya hwa abrante ni ye. Na oka Ghana card ho asem ya ntie no. Mahama ba ye osi Ghana card. Se wobeye bibia wo banking system a chise ohia Ghana card. Na no emra Mahama de aba no. DVL emra foforo de ba osi chise bibia wa fa Ghana card a enye yi. Enne tap and go enso abeka ho. Echina gold reserves abeka ho. Any abrantie sana ne nsem no ano wo kan na no abufuo na yede tie no ene yemfa akoma pantie ne ne ehwe
na no me da ho me kania de foin na bo one.
Can you imagine?
Na me fa me app, but app no also mo improve.
Yes,
because so me meet our bontra afi na me di token koto
so
eno say emwa
and enka o balance crunch no
another problem so no anajo 1 AM na me pia bonten no obi di matiri mu pa enti I think they have to upgrade it say me boy ya no because say me send it interoperability.
Yeah,
I don't need to go and do anything in the person's phone and sana when insaka me be some this to my account to one me ya eko me twi amatwe other na ECG phone to me nyebi na me de anajo be 1 AM me timi to free mo ho but just me nante ko me meter ho ansa na me de me nsa kobo na wo boss one ten utimi bo na wo refi I think say I buy way ECG the managing director whatever
me busai no asem a panyin bi ka kire me ne se panyin bi o ECG ka kire me ne se the type of meters
entina basa
unso man with procurement economy ti ade ne ye tokra na ye beto de eye we na china ya sa akokra foforo
because we be e kra ne
de enti the type of meters sometimes we are lucky meter no timi peke in fact me feel say once in a while we bought auto credit na we say meter na peke
edu maybe because first say we go talk card no we go talk credit na we the card ne kwa omo boy ya na abeguso uhia say we the ba beto so
enti aden na
why can't we do same
system no
it's too much
but we aden dey be designing payment system
that's right
ti mumu designing that IT software no say who say payment ne to so a
was a fake
but at least when free we fee
Debbie
the difference
and I'm
nesum at least enye perfect dey but yakọ baby
that's right
oh my Ghana we na near timu a anka to the bi a oyam ye oya me kai na me tisipe bu okrom 1990s oyam ye oya chi se wo sorry anopa ekọ bomba na baby a wo fie wo
any bomba
baby a bomba na obe nante be 20 minutes
na unru oso na ayema
na obi power so mfa wachi na hende but you see the bottom line is say Omanhene improve me de bia me can say me se china BBC for frame me say me interview about Ghana I'll say positive things only about Ghana.
Yeah, because we've gone forward.
Because it is my country. Even if I have to criticize my country, I'll make sure I criticize my country constructively.
Okay.
Because it is my country. Omanhene economy. Empuntu oba. And yet the Ghana me, I know 1990s.
Okay.
Ghana has improved. And near me son. Mahama baye or the nenso de yeden. Come Empuntu no banka kranka kra. Otimi expressway nanado temamoto way or sisani. Otimi wie ni etimi keka saa nneema no nyinaa bomu a oman ne bɛyɛ krabɛhwɛ ama yɛ nyinaa yɛ nya so mfa so.
So
nemum
Saturday Bawumia is winning.
Si ahene ne etu ahene. Oman Ghana baabi a yɛgyina ne baabi a yɛbɛtumi akoduru. We deɛ America kraa bi na menkyerɛ mu. Yɛwɔ man bi a yɛfrɛ no Singapore. As recent as the 80s, it was a poor town. Omoman Penny and a friend Lee Kuan Yew. In fact, before Lee Kuan Yew, there was another man who came. He set the basis. And then Lee Kuan Yew befa a pijai. Now on mining new resources be. So Mubusa who said, "Day no mobe." They decided, say, "Yemfa humesua, yemfa abe for them dear." And fancy chiro my way. Until now, who call Lee Kuan Yew's Singapore. A man from my own India for Chinese for and no market can boom one or my bay or my friend of Singapore. A crow back pay any a city back and a crew. And then Singapore pija. Uko Poland. As far as recent as 1992, now Poland. Any independent state. No more the social Russia, I say. 1992 yana Russia, Poland, and so within 30 years, almost shall see and kakran ne, almost the abe for India, digitalization. Apija moment. In fact, Poland dear, almost shall see with industrialization. They said the era Kennedy proposing. Say yensi factory. A chain of most there be sa factory, no. Abontin so for ne besi or musi we are no modicanoko. It is a benya sicana so fast or minus so fast. Less industrialized. Or more industrialized here in the year 2010. From that time to 2016, Poland has become one of the most formidable countries in Europe. Because they industrialized through technology, making sure say babunu bia wo mine mu bia benya suahunu a eye abefo suahunu. Enti some of the top global IT companies in Poland. So the Ghana here and no in economics your friend leapfrog. They said they said be aboa ponchirani
and see free.
Esi ehwiri. Enti wontimi nsa meka se afa na wo beye factories a ye be ya anwa ni abeye mu dabi ese Ghana hwiri edru baby a industries now we create no e bi mpo na ye service industry te say we Malaysia service industries no mo offer but the kind of economic willpower e de ba no esesa oman no in a matter of years 5 years 10 years no man asesa
okay
eno ni aniswade hunu aye wura Mahmoud Bawumia so de ba aniswade hunu a ebe hwiri Ghana and nante Ghana needs to jump. Ghana needs to leap. And the nipa na niswade hunu betimi ama Ghana a leapu a jumpu a ye Mahmoud Bawumia. Enti one kind ono so asom wa bre party won ya adwumaden na me ya adomo a nimdie no wo ho a ye mana kwanya obetimi apagya oman no asima poma so. But I was bebre.
Kofi Tonto na mo tene kano Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia team kasamafo kese ba kopa. Kofi Eradi to super gumo.
Na mo program dey mo starting tempa o. Na wo ya na order.
Me.
Hey, and I want no production move, bro.
Maybe I have 4:30.
I'm telling you.
Maybe I have.
So me here na me say me cry me sorry 5:30. Hey, na go for you know when me share no passer.
Aye.
Na me dwene ho say na me cry 5:30 no sorry time.
Di kaba.
Mo ya de.
Enjoy your day. So from my main announcement, Obi a pair a dine a single room self-contained accommodation for rent. Ewo amekum asukwa tech atonsu ofori chrome afo and quanta ena womo epe. Hey, we are pa. Ejuche we are say. What do you translate? But in situation. Man in translate. Honorable Trahama. Hey! Baba will say. You watch you. My goodness. PK, please check the. Aye. Right. Mr. Manti, Obi, get the remote. Obi, epe. Okay, because honorable, almost a tramedo. I'm saying, baby, I'm no quiet. Almost a tramedo, hamame. Aha, thank you very much. Eti nipa krono pedan ewo amekom asukwa tech atonsu ofori chrome afon kwanta ene baby ewo kumase e ben. To your landlord now your agent Mr. Wa hye so. Obetimi a friend number is here 0249 761022 0249761022. That be because Jabin Ra Bank Eton Sa Frel say now we are Jabin Ra Bank PLC 2023-2024 best Raw Bank. Now there is some loan aba. Say we will be our auto parts, clothing and textiles. We are importers of all kinds of goods, wholesalers in all kinds of trade in the account one. Owia say opese unya bosia bi kofa onema. You need not produce any collateral before assessing this loan. No processing fee. Instant approval within 12 to 24 hours. What the old other say, Obeba Jabin Ra Bank. Now near Bechuchin Komo. Na yen so yabuao. Jabin Ra Bank, Kasa Yina Yiti, I was say, yeah, the Asempa loan. Aba. Afe Obapa loan. A man mutimi and we are ready for. Ebiana. We a hairdresser. Ebia we a businesswoman. Ebia we a trader. Ebia we artisans mekanisa mon de mon kam hombom enum ensian so na momra na ye mam obosia na mo fan kotre mu nyumam ye wo savings account ye wo current account ye wo fixed deposit microfinance susu ye ton shares 50 pesos dipa guso tona ye ba AGM now be share shareholders and nije omudi kofia na just we ya kachi dachinti investment obano dachi o be sie bibi ne be dua bibi ma abofra no ya bia a new branch wa tonsu a high school junction pe na a headquarters no dwabin afei ejeso onwe fumeso bonwe sepatim Roman Hill at the Shemai Road Pankrono ena aboaso. We are the best when it comes to Raw Bank. Jabin Raw Bank PLC, we are the best. Frey 054 4745 054 4745 and 0271 464327 0271 464327. Afei emopafie bebamcho nipa da sani de odi ko mu etimi se wetimi kum. Enti se obedi mu pa de a na de premium and super premium rice a free emopafie. Now album say what the more neatly packaged for both home and commercial use. Obia obedi premium and super premium rice be the dance say what the more pa. After the jambi so ya being oil aba. America phone na Food and Drugs Authority wa America do Ghana Standard Authority wa America womo di womo asenso de team so say American phone na ndi jambi so ya being oil. To ko America fie mu bebre a jambi. And ye tenase and yes there be tomato paste no nye bia keke. Nye say what the color bia ko frem na eni aye ko there be ye de tomato paste crunchy. Yummy tomato paste. What the bojolo of the bomb kind the yesti wa what him say anu sure de. Na sanso so ye papa en koma cholesterol bia ko ingredient koma pressure bia. Obedi awie na tomato paste out the aduane na ma obo hye there be yummy tomato paste rich in taste and color. Perfect for stew soup and all your cooking needs. Yummy tomato paste. And if you have provision stores, supermarket, chop bars, food vendors, hotels and restaurants, monoamo, namodi tomato paste and why you dear. I can tell you that if you believe in consistency and competitive pricing there, emopefie. Ye wa dum ye be repa patasin so ye ne Chamfo Hotel ena media nso so Parks and Gardens ena ye wo free 0244 615117 0244 615117 na bibia enkoso emfamao. You want to travel, eh? Then think about Sycops Connect Limited. Abrochire sem ho aye drama. You want to go on holidays and chill a little. You want to go to Europe, Asia, North America, South America, USA, Canada. Your destination is Sycops Connect Limited. You do it too far. Edwa kwa manone. Na womo won sanu juma bi opeso koye juma so amanone no. We driver, concrete mason, forklift operator, truck driver, welder, tiler, steel benders, housekeepers, auto mechanic, carpenters, plumbers, electrician, waiter, waitress, bar attendant, hotel service attendant, cleaners, laundry workers, cooks, kitchen attendant, general nurse, midwife, mental nurse, home care jobs, ahodraw, carpenter, plumbers, electricians, Udia any Sycops Connect Limited. Fabena near Moa near to Tony and Mama Bibi and Koye and Famao. WhatsApp us on 055 3732982 055 3732982. Special slot to Soso Abetoho Amaye for World Cup FIFA 2026 USA and Canada. Ubia the one mile or peso or Mexico. So yeah, was USA Canada. Oh, Mexico go pedio. Ghana for ye. Oga so the go Mexico. Was me Mexico. Me go pedio. All about you must do. Now I'm to say. Who want you? Oh, I was your former DC upper the West and I no pay. You need to change come on. Honorable Ambrose Amwa Asia. As you a former DC upper the West. What is so befia? I don't pay me in Paris. My head of her. Honorable the bomb to say. MPP Mujina Kuno. Remember the Damoko Twaba. Uber to upon bear. You
ever to upon I can.
Sao. Bibi and you have no shaking. Bobby and Rich. Bibi had a D. The way you candidate. So who can say to me you candidate?
Member candidate. Member candidate to me a party for a candidate.
Oh, sir. No one way.
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Eh. Sao.
Party for a candidate.
Party for in as one no go.
Dear. A DMB. Omanhene say you send DMB who I say mammy.
Your muka can bear.
I say mammy or take a drum or pine in Tosi. Bobo Yaya, who sang who are wuku.
Bobo Yaya
for the hour pine.
Bobo Yaya.
Tosi never force.
Who sang me who are
who sang who will pay your no benny.
No, I better. You do be smart.
DMB the Sana.
Dear my course.
NPP sign DMB who. Baby, I any bachelor.
I say, Maba.
I say, my secret.
I see. Okay. A quick one on Professor Frimpong Boatin in your Tamako, ne Christian Makuniama. Almost say choir more air delegate based flag bearership elections. No parties in to Omoko Supreme Court for interpretation. Almost say Tia Ghana fundamental human rights, the right to vote. Ghana ni bia wa kwano. Say party ba. Ewo card no mama na to ba na say delegate. Etiamra. Team flag bearer and queen no grano. A funtus official. A penny for a party man penny for.
Only a party dear
MPP. And a Christine Amakunya Masu NDC.
Very good. Now,
what man said one more
party
MPP for.
MPP penny for.
Nanka now when MPP penny for.
Omanhene my men chair with you. Mama share with you for no one.
For you so.
Me chair NPP my titri delegate memendate way ni mbaka akotwaba. Yesterday delegate ni na say. Baby NPP gina say delegate bi ate say kuntuna edu asuma fidi. 31st memenda ebihwaye. Ihwaye afashe otiri say wo san aba wo chia be gina wo sono dabre ho.
Okay.
Na the party for atoa ba yi no. Ye nyina ya be boni chidom.
That's right.
Ye di adwumaden ne namoye. Ata na chidi akopretumi
2028 party for mfanhye o mutrim say enye di sie ni so ne memenda di sie ni so ye 2028 memenda no de etwam kwa te say de Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo kan covid brim no say han so ye biaye ye betwam te memenda ye biaye ye betwam afiri ho
Okay.
but party for ntiase say o ko contest abato mpai abato bi anywhere pai because the pai kura beto foforo mo bi awi
Mo bi awini.
nti abato mpai enye wo ho tintin se sa anyame a eni se ye obia
Okay.
fa show trim sa ada se o candidate no be wini
And no be lose.
emu bia no ye wie dia koye NPP
Ya bebeto e bia empoyem.
empoyem nti ye sere party for no se memenda ye beto aba na wi ye to aba na wi a ye emu bi die ye ngidie ni se Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ene bedi nkunem se mpo ankoba saa nkire se NPP ni nkogu because your party a ye ko hyehyɛ de akɔpere twemi
Okay.
party for no nti ase saa nti memenda ye ne ayaba ne ye kɔto enye obi aba ne ye kɔto NPP aba ne ye kɔto saa kwan no so nti na wo ka asɛm afa anyɔnko ma no osusu aka de ye ya no because ye beto aba no be wie ne bi ane asoma sɛ kɔfrɛ bra ne ne nkɔ campaign
No good.
wɔn so na aka bibi ya kyerɛ ne wobɛdɛ no wakɔ akɔfrɛ no nti yɛsrɛ party ma no
Okay.
yɛntɔn ne down ne yɛnkɔto aba memenda yɛnkyerɛ wiase ne Ghanafoɔ nyinaa sɛ yɛtaayɛ and we nso yɛbɛyɛ ɛma na yie ɛyɛ simple thing koraa
Okay.
yɛto yɛaba wie kenkan wie a wolusu a wolusu papa bi a no wɔ mi kurom ɔso wolu yɛto aba wie na wolusu a wo mu duro wo kyemfu no
You 229 crown
kɔ a sɛ obi twe wo san yɛkyi but still wolusu
Oye dey a
woyɛ
walus.
dɛ a wolusu
Jitum.
nti no wagye atom na party na atumi atu anamɔn ɛde akɔ danim
Okay.
that's it delegates nyinaa nim diome every bi NPP delegate ekɔ abato so akɔyi obi obɛyɛ kan before ama party no dede ne kasa bebree ba but at the end of the day no party man nim de obetumi agye tumi and ɔmo ntom from order
Omunye from soda.
dabi from 96 98 conference sunyane na dede bebree wɔ akyiri ba party for no de no mu nim de wɔ mu tiri mu ɔmo kɔyɛ so what you say 2007 2012 2015 2014 na dede bebree wɔ mu ba na party for no nim de obetumi agboagye twumi e de ama ɔmo ɔmo ahene similar thing yɛte ho nei de ɛkɔso ne ya nkɔfo kan nsɛm a sɛ de wiase nti megu fam yi ebi asida ho
Okay.
ebi asida
Munim
ɛwɔ
de.
NPP
Munim de obetu franka no
delegate
betu
ni nim die after kasa ni nyina no mu nim de obetumi atu franka ade aboa consistency hia ho and delegate na prove time and again
Say.
actually say consistency ehia ma NPP amanyoko
Okay.
and even nya NPP amanyoko nko e fa no ho akra o consistency aboa wo mo so delegate na ti ase
Okay.
and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ni delegate na kasa yi aka nsɛm especially mfaso a delegate na ɔmo yɛ party man kasa ebenya free ne so ɔmo boa na ɔbɛyɛ franka atuni na okonya tumi 2028
Yo no so be yama o.
de ɔbɛyɛ ama party for ne direct ne nyina waka ho asɛm de akyɛ party and from every indication Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nko ane the only candidate a waka the party for benya free na ban mu na mamu mu direct ɛyɛ ɔno nko ane obi a waka bia it's just like said the year about 2016 you started from 2008 you preach free SHS there obi abekobi Ghana ni bi abekobi so say yan fan say you be create adwuma Ghana ni bi abeye bi na party ba na wo pray de ne ho hwi nwia so ye di na tem to jonso gu ne ho e ma obi beye mampanyine no
Ono so e.
and ho na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ehia party for no ade srede ade hiade no e wo kwan mu aboso no njo ma hene memenda betwem me de me mete he as NPP ba de esre party for no nyina no se I just say amachire de nwum no secretary maso moja ya wo te secretary maso moja
Okay.
ya pibigu ne ya mene bi obi a wo ya odie
Okay.
makanda bia ma hene even Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo en na san yakora no he president ye man kwan so on kan ya odie wo NPP amanyuku ma wa hwe agisi ye man be 2 years o
no
no
aka.
tumi aka awie nti obi a wo ya odie but ye mfa amachire de nwum ni masem saa wo ya odie no fa no set secretary maso moja pibigu na mmene bi because NPP amanyuku nko a ene betumi aye nhyehyeye atua namon a ede mfa so papa ebe brew na bi aka Ghana man nyina saa ne ntina de bi aye sre party ma
delegates asemi who can say the mpanifo kan asem busa ho wa shada yi wani
what's party mpanifo de
Professor from Boateng Dr. Nyahonya
Hotama Professor from Boateng also a jai party why you know free man
what kind of way
oh we referee we got na Paul Adom Mochiri say why program so also on NPP ni fake it this NPP won't to me associated with why you know free NPP into your head because why party and in any case this same delegate system no so Professor from Boateng they are contested presidential
what do you call it
ana
what do you
sabre no they were who say and they were who say and the Professor from Boateng was the delegate system na papa but time anu wo kopɛ sɛ obetu frank ade ama NPP amanyuku ne de ohun sɛ ɛyɛ
sɛ ohun ade bi sɛ nya ɛyɛ na ne wo sɛ nya no kyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ
ama
yes
some mpanyimfo miense at best bi ananka de ombetumi an so ombetumi a petition the two parties now om fi sɛ also mo cancel om
so om nwene hu mienu
that is it
but yes so
supreme go say supreme anya Ghana constitution ye de hyehyɛ delegate system yati yeku any asiku no kwan say
that's the constitution of Ghana overrides every
NPP one constitution the party ni betumi a decide yakọ conference china aka say okay afi kura de ye ntoaba ye be appoint eno nso we so what yes yes so mo case bi o mo pese sa case no edimu na boa said you mo pa kire ne dia enka at best omo petition parties no because party now when the constitution or the year adwuma and menye sure say Supreme Court menye a lawyer da and I menye judge but menye ni say Supreme Court betumi akosha manyokuo bi say o delegate system na wo yusu ade yi wo mpanyimfo no se sano na obi a Ghana ha bia ana obi okura o card bia enkoto aba ne bi oman no ta ye sa na ema no wa hwe ya nkofo abeyi candidate amawo se wo si wu jai so obi ankoto bia maka da bia ade a yebetumi ekwan yebetumi afa so se bia within the NPP obi a we card bearing member enkonkoto aba ne bi ene se oman yebetumi enya obi a okura NPP card but bia na party no wagya no kura be 5 years
is of no good standing
yet okura party card enti eduru saa time no se ye koye delegate system no ana ye koto aba enti obi okura card bia enkoto bia se nipa no so ba betu bia na so what you say
okay
because o jai party no so akọ party foforo no ana onye politics bi enti we jai party enti party ni be si o be de o
ya anye card
no enti eduru saa point na se nipa no so ba betu bia na the only time abia ye betumi a consider saa niema ni bi ni yete se enka ye polling station system na ye wo no man e bia every 2 weeks bia no polling station for no be meeting ye wo ledger book kese da ho obi obeba meeting bia ye be marking to say ye mark school register so ye pick book na ye nim active members e wo polling station ho at that particular moment no because book no ya tam no the obe meetings ye nimu no the all meetings be about 1 year 2 years or my meeting be crowd no onu nso ye nimu no because ni din mem
okay
until sasa no be koso no ye be sere sometimes no me I papa Professor from Boateng there nso oji ni din wo medical circles but within the NPP circles nyame anim no kura ni Nenya papa ya na nansa wono also abakora want to be. This kind of anti-party behavior. Say ni pakro na say nya no koka de yenye wo NPP. Seriously, a hard dream. Sometimes no, wo hwe NPP no na wo hwe mpanyimfo bi a omanya mfaso.
ADD party.
Every party we so ni omo nsam keka ni omo na ya omo ete akoma wo. Because metie ne nkomo na metena se din dwene se papa ya ye wo minister cabinet minister to this level emfaso a wanya free NPP so to this level wo se wan to aba ma ye candidate NPP candidate e dey call election 2024 wan to aba no sane na che say abrantie na ababa na wonam ka kwan no so odmo na wono de nka na bia o se recruiting into any of the security service I am fan no ode yawdi enti wan koto aba no e wo se yesen fufu todi kosu ato so koma no because wono de onya ahwe wo NPP kakra nko wo konya no e na CEO bi e ka kire ne se wono nya party nti no wote ho no ba so obeye oman adwuma meanwhile na NPP ma power no ne yemfa no mo nkoye oman nkoye CEO a party for ye call the officer one fee omu and do omu hwi ya so e ma wotumi be yes CEO na woye yet party for na call ne ho and ko one car recheche se mo nkire omu so e kwan meda ho munya botre kwan beda ho a yenim se munyina na mabere e wo party o mind sometimes e bia na obi pe bibia afiri ho wunya de kro no kro ama na wa no kasa a obeka akire nipa e ma kuma toye mu ba wonya ho to so enya ni da so so da ache bibi ba se da ache ne ma ya no problem but the onu wonya mfa so twitwiri die na party aye ni yie to say onu watumi atena national television so wan to aba men party ne candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in election 2024 say ni pani wie no no na esa akire de party ne ya me anim no kura ni me de o ma de
munya no aboma ne
enya me na me
no abofa to silent
sa mpanyimfo emu bia enya me na me yi wo mu every party no mo but o ma no kasa
na yi wo mafri
because papa from pon boaten crowd there me one say general secretary cause afei na party na fa processes na me processes because straight away ono ase party no associated with the party bi until the moment I want associated with the party ni BMD waboa party no asevu say processes in there no answer direct party ni ntro letter man say ye pe wonu masem wa so wa yi hu afiri mu nti party ni yi hu simple matter eno saa no kosi ya nka menye sure say ye be koso wa describe wo mu as party mpanyimfo because papa ba akwo ka ho yi papa nya ho tamakru meti ni dinye ne ba kai those days has this has of folk this na ono so party no ja da review on ko kan say ne office is ne de ne Ibrahim Mahama
ne office no nye say ne office
me de say bi ni mo on kan did o kan na
ni nua baba ne
very good at once and because of saying you want to me ni NPP ntu ana mo no ne ade and sankofu we nyine sometimes yeah having say media no koso I describe them as party NPP for seriously speaking Omanhene what ye wo parties akesi me na Ghana ye wo NPP ye wo NDC mama one typical example panyini bi o wo NDC a obetumi akeka saa ansem na ye ne ye nkofo keka fa NPP ye ne so called mpanyimfo ni bi nsem o mo keka fa NPP ene niema o mo ye fa NPP one NDC panyini bi a wa ye say bi da
o mayi o madi
one time
aloteje groups ko
one time
koko anyi do hoko
but it looks like said
so then it shows that they are firm and disciplined
ye ni akukuduro
ana na muni akukuduro
Omanhene because it looks like they said the minimum NPP ni ye the democracy be wi ase there's too much of that sort of democracy no because obi aka na dwene ye ni akukudura ye de a sidelining for free party no but the area fie hu ne se keterese de e yes na dodo owura imagine a situation say you count to NPP members in 2024 say ya gauge see your members say core members we mo at least yes say obi a wire cabinet minister bi akra de obeto aba mai but here is the case a cabinet minister
one to
aba but ya kan na kan enya dodo owura so na ye imagine say at least ye benya nipa 100 ato aba mai ya ewi ase ye 99 na koto ye be wie ne ye kohwehwe baako no ne ye de ni kobu abrante bi obusa questions wa bra na bi MP bi na minister bi call rounds e won the constituency okobusa questions adenti ne anye sei ene ye priwe ya monfa ma ne ye de ni kobu ono so ono na anto aba ba hwe asem But yes, I revo sometimes because and can we expect so ma omo yem panyimfo no hwe we ya ye bra diakoni abai huri kosoro ba fomo ye DMB ba omi ye be wi Omanhene me no ti me ni godfather me ni godmother me ni mobia president no owini wi a onim me ni access to president no enti saafo ye na besenya fa kwoti kwan so akonya access to the president ni omo e wo presidency akonya mfa so twitwiri die biem na de oti polling station hɔ no ebre ye no onim obia wan na ekoka na sem bia ma no nti ye besere wo omo adidi bia me wo de se wontumi nye party no moama party ni nye ya ka wano tum na omo ebetumi aye no
omo nye
enye ema party ni nye ye na de san bedi so mfa so because ye nim say bebe obesan pre enye benya nkofo adi wachi si yemfa minister ma ho memeti yi obi anim me a okopre ye ma me see obi a but mo de mo benya en mo besa nya ama mo ma mo benya ama mo fa asefo mo benya ama mo busuafo ndi se wo yesa ni nyina awi na se wo tumi yi usia aduasa ekoka se ye to aba 2024 wan to aba amfa men NPP na campus wato e dia me bi kura parliamentary candidate or constituency say Ahmed nti seriously Omanhene hard time I was NPP amanyoku ankasa
we dem nice
e dia nice form titiri ni mpanyimfo
jo ho me ma me na me ma honorable Ashia kwaba honorable abisha pa
Omanhene afin come to you
na umpom to say
oh me who din say kunkunja fo ajan
okay
nse kunkunba fo mejan na no ni pa
konkomba fo ajan say to it me de mane
timika
okay ye do ba de ase
moje di me mafu sane
ye do ba de ase
so ho ye
me ho ye dodo adonate
bibia boko
bibia boko dangerafo na ehia wa
me minia I say
ye bo mpu ase on this our free constituency
asa
so on na manka
now there be na the party of power on time
party bapa no party bapa wa
e ho de na wa ka
center
ejima ni ko the nerve ajima mi tie o quickly on football party
I am more consistency
but any what we are na wo
I have a bit
football party ni nya uta makro asemi Christian Makuni amazo so ka ho how ye DC papa and some of the about to about delegate based flag bearership election almost CPP NDC MPP e kwa am for so you know etia article 1 the preamble of the constitution the right to vote no na ade nyina and more magana edimi nye omodi asem na koda Supreme Court ebi mo say the timing football what is wa question as was san yegu MPP before elections ni mo oninya ho. But Christian Wakuniama, and this is not going for any elections now. But he's attached himself to the suit. Maminti wa drink on the delegates issue, no. After we are, Yebeko, Afenyo Markin, and Zambia or press conference. The NDC has also replied. Almost so no on the 1 LGBTQ, on 2 elections are most mobile or some of the messy. Flag bearers, mostly who crash and they will look at the issue of energy sector. Say, my increase new taxes, my introducing that levy. So, you have from Pombat Indian.
Yo, me that say when you was about you go say more we in Mako.
Okay.
And medical shall say free and seminar would kind to join.
That's right.
My main chair I have phone now. Affiliations me my phone in official.
That's right.
Of course, the last time I see an Enya, first time I'm about Henny.
And yeah, Japan.
That's right. I'm so pleased to be here.
Owia TV or say yes, right?
Yeah. Many are more certainly come.
Thank you.
I'm not going.
Thank you.
As you said, you phone can shadow for NT, no money. Owia TV.
That's right.
Many are seeing so man official pa. Michelle Nache. When who's a million say do? Nibo food in penny for Nikakra. But me free ho. Because we rate na omodi aba no we rate na pampem ho a omunyina so baako article 2 clause 1 of the 1992 constitution.
That's right.
The can say bibi wo constitution ni mo na obi adwen kyerɛ ne sɛ obi foforɔ ana institution bi to ana mo wɔ nkyɛn na ɛne deɛ ɛwɔ constitution mu no ɛbɔ abira sɛ nipa no tumi to ana mo ɛkɔ Supreme Court na ɔkɔgye nkyerɛkyerɛ mu nti on the basis of the provisions in Article 2:1 no sɛ nipa mmiɛnsa Professor Frimpong Boateng Dr. Nyahonya Hotamakulo and Dr. Christina Makunyama, or former Minister for Education under the Rawlings regime.
That's right.
Omu nyina so bia say omu etu saa na moy. Again, constitution asan ka say so bi ye Ghanani or ye Ghanani this year. Na onte ne ho ase e wo bibia mu a say utu anamon so okọ. So on the basis of Article 2:1 and Article 1 saa nipa miensen wo nyina so se omutu anamon na omu ekọ court se obi adwen kyerɛ ne se omuto anwagu amanyokuo bi gare mu anase bibi etisa saa nipa no ɔkwan se ɔdwene saa. That's right. However, for the purposes of this argument, I want to take these issues from the legal point of view because politics is so much, of course, a more legal than politics. Essentially, there no more can okokan section 13 of the MPP constitution no ne tofa boni nyina e ka kire se omu yi titiri manpanyin ne de keka ho no a wo se nipakuo bi na ekohia se a nipakuo na ekohia no omaye nhyehyɛ ya e kire de obetumi aba bi ene de wontumi ema bi na omayi manpanyin na omo de ama amanyokuo ni nti ene ye section article 13 of the MPP constitution and akokan article 44 and 43 of the NDC constitution in so and also for pimina actually say delegates ni behia no mo so yi before e de ama amanyokuo no ye ne ayewa NDC mu mpo de nanka ya bi da in 2016 ye bie mu bu ya ma obi aba say omra meto aba ni bi na ye mfanyi parliamentary candidates ene mampanyi nti tifo be kai ni ahefo be kai ya 2015 bra ye kwakoto aba yi o mampanyi John Dramani mama no nipa bibire ano mo doso chain delegates na omo to aba titiri o ma na o ma tro mu din e wo ye register ni o ma no mu kura card ye ma omo nyina akwanya se omo to saa de ni bi. So the exception to this rate what the NDC did in 2015 when we traveled along the path of universal adult suffrage. In the immediate aftermath of 2016 we jettisoned that idea and reverted.
It did not help.
I'll come to that.
Yes. Every before we got to a very beer.
I'll come to that.
Every before we do we got to a very beer.
I'll come to that. Yes, and after that, no, they comment. You amend your constitution. No, you can article 43 and 44.
That's right.
Sani Pami and saying Dr. Nyahonya Hotamakulo, Dr. Christina Makunyama, and Professor Frimpong Boateng almost say article 44. And 43 of the NDC, your friend is a constitution. Any MPP is Article 13 of our constitution. Any dear warrior national constitution. Ababra. In the Supreme Court, 1 year and year now on church remuye. Into who are rate now. Almost say they are invoking the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court.
That's right.
Ghana Supreme Court has an original jurisdiction
which is
to
interpret
our constitution amongst others.
No,
the others can be enforcement and others, but original jurisdiction to interpret our constitution. And they are well within their right. So we will court to say court in Vienna on church. What are the benchmarks? Benchmarks now. Oh, can Article 55 of the 1992 Constitution. I say amanyoku e wagana nyina to ne nyoma wo kwan a ese ne fata so nemu saa na monkuo no ototo ne nyoma amanyoku no toto ne nyoma ontoto ne nyoma ma ense senia Ghana misu ene ne ban etie. So political parties in Ghana must have a national character.
That's right.
And in the view of these persons of Marco Koti,
say
political party bi hona enkura national character. Sa political party no wabu ye 1992 constitution so. Of course, omo rate so can say Senator Odiga kan article 1, article 17, article 33, 5, article 36 D and 42. Ni nyina ne ye provisions e wo constitution ni mu a kire pefe say I was say ma obi a ho kwan. So there are human rights elements in respect of the omubusan. Obi a ya Ghana ni bia o de no ha be don political party ni bia no bibia nsi ni kwan
say
obenya kwanya say ye yi mpanyimfo a
Onyi
wono
bi.
nso ebeyi bi na bibia nso entimi mma say ye kwa akoyi nipa kakra bi agina ho say say nipa kakra bi no nko a na omunyi nipa because Omanhene ye constitution no enkrata bi wa akiri aya na ye nyimpi ye friend of travel repertoire omo constitution no every article bia botaya ye dey akiri no mo tworo ye sa krata no ewo ho e kire reason ti a article bia ya tworo dey ahye constitution ni mo in greater part your constitution no eba abatoɔ ne amanyɔsɛm ɛne ho keka ho a ne fapem baako yɛ deɛ friend of universal adult
suffrage.
just say obi a o kan constitution wadi mfie edungotwe ko bia no wo ho kwan sɛ
na dwene mu da
hɔ ampa ɛne ne the most important go bu ha no adi dungotwe ba na dwene chi
goye
na dwene chi mu bi da se enti obi a na dwene mu da hɔ bia wadi mfie dungotwe ko bia no wo kwanya sɛ oto aba constitution no frɛ no public elections and referenda.
Yes sir.
So odi mfie dungotwe ko na dwene mu da hɔ nko a enti okokan yebie na valifo case bi your friend yebie na valifo court no gina so ka say political parties public entities but also what say political parties private entities public entities enti say constitution ka say obi a wadi 18 na dwom da ho bia okwan so oto aba in public elections and referenda na so obi she political party ma public entity a okwanya say
oto na
mind e kire na dwom
okay
but just make esisi so
metias
enti omo di saa asemi aho court no sen dabi tembia CPP NDC MPP omo wa beto aba na nipa kakra bi yayi wo makogina baabi se omo na omo se fata omo na yekanifo omo koto aba enyi mpanyifo Dr. Nyaho Tamakro ni Professor Fon Watini Dr. Christina Makunya ma se saa de no ene ye constitution ebo ebra
okay
the Supreme Court enchire mu no fa yi enye dey entu yi ma dwen kyerem se ye nhwe de
ebe free ho aba
ebe kwa akosie ye constitution no ache enso enche ye ena ya try ya dani ena onim se asem bia Supreme Court be kan bia no so no ebe dani mra and most of the laws we have had in this country have come about as a result of a certain refining of the law by especially the apex courts, in this case the Supreme Court. And the free side so Omanhene, this is the law. What is the politics? The politics is that edru ni bi enam akade ne nyoma eni honti amanyo kofo no ntimi mmakwan ma obia se omra meto aba
eno ne agrek
obia meto aba. So this is the politics of the situation. For instance, say ye bie mama obia so ye party ni bia ba beto aba, it comes with a certain mobilization of resources and challenges, even for the persons who contest those elections. And the one logistical problems ade ba kuntia political parties no efa delegate say yenko gina ento aba eno ana me dwene bibi ho Omanhene bra dodo ne kamimamka biamamu ehya ase ewo Greece no na empanyimfo etena nwiase ne fa adwene fa oman ni nyina ho that time na Greek omanman no omo organizing no along the lines of their friend city states edrum rebina city states for no eyi anamusifo ekọ baabi a omo dwene oman ho so omo koka omo asem no omo famu aye emra eho na representation ehase.
That's right.
Ekire se enyo obia na ebetimi asoma ne se dudu ani kamiyamamu ho so onye bie na mmom yeyi kandifo se munyina muma omo aka no se ne be ya mo be kom asem de amo. So in the spirit of our constitution, I understand that there's also a certain level of representation
even in parliament.
And that is one problem I have with this rate, because practically the omo hwehwe no ebe yedin into where omo had the electoral commission. Say electoral commission ye fifth dependent in this matter.
Chade no omo kwan.
Yeah, because
we say just say yeah, it's a person who siu fra na yi bi afri.
No, omo no problem ni say You see, there's a Political Parties Act, Political Parties Law. And no, Obi also or Professor Samran by Yeduma Pan at 574 by Yeduma Pan.
The Electoral Commission.
The move Phyllis Electoral Commission because Political
That's
Parties
why I am
Political Parties Law no actually the national character of political activities and representation a free hall into one electoral commission right there. In my view, I think this suit is audacious, very audacious, but good because it goes to test the law. That I have no problem with. But you say make an what?
But you're audacious, no, Papa. Now would you know one just?
I could draw a model court no, I know shit.
Okay.
But also what I say, and our court to me, say may hear definite pronouncement. But I think say I know she said will be better than one ya. So I could draw say because court less hard way. You see, court ni aware. Omanhene. Yeah, young political parties. You need trusted database for membership. But also what I say. The last time I hear to about our Ghana Hano. Nipa 6.5 million or thereabout network mama NDC. But that's what I say. And ne ye to aba san no man no enye pepepe. But that's what I say. E chese political party membership ana eba sympathy a ekọ ni na banechi. But that's what I say. And ye ni sa database ni e be ye say party bia benya a very strong database here. I want to say way na ye mini pa tem bia o me de o meto aba e de amami. Me who be in other areas. Uko be to say Germany, they organize their political parties along the states. Federal Republic. Political parties organized members along the various states. So what I say, na ho no so be the party be dia. Na dwene a odigi no ejina ho pemia ya dia ensisa da. Inti aya no more database a Omanhene eye trust wait wuji tu mu aye dey eye yan de no enti sa enti there are practical challenges with this issue that has resulted in a suit. Now meaning say the Supreme Court no bema the appropriate remedy say e be ya essentially because you see Ghana Omanhene no finance political parties.
Yeah, political funding has become a big issue for discussion for many years.
And to the extent that it is not the state that finances political parties, there will be a difficulty in directing how these political parties must, of course, organize their congresses.
Okay.
And good on in terms of the law. But there's always a difference between what the law is and what is practiced on the ground.
The reality is of. Yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Shia. Ave, my member, Honorable, one chain na yenshe and someone and ra a PMO. The Ade Kyeɛ, MPP, and now my friend marking so kasa say NDC for by the call or more flag bearership race, but or more church MPP for. No catch them so or more the end a better time. I brought just your mama any honor. Never see no, it is going to be messy. And none of that. If you I say third term, or my penny your mama Mrabonti no mechanic or can was Singapore. I fade there, I cover say Crofoka. Now many are not very careful. I'm in few rashabi need to drink. Also, who the entire phenomenon can cry, we did it. Interpretation and India, a Supreme Court. So near honorable share kind of original jurisdiction. One more nebeche say whether one time renewable once, no. So we call back what she go. And I say a year consecutive. So was so champion or chin the chess when you 2 times. The Emrana can Supreme Court nebeche. And now minimum me panel no back kasa the machine na day na just obi di mrane be go Supreme Court no akọ interpretation
For sure.
Hey nani assemble ni
For sure.
na H Prempe Professor H Prempe committee omo preamble to omo say they did not find any ambiguity with respect to the 1-term renewable ones, which is a 2-term, no say Ghana for Peninsula. There's a Ghana, you have 2 Abama Mampenia, or 1 term. Uko wie na se Ghana fo fi se wadwuma so ani a ya ma wo. Na uko mienu a ye se renewable ones, which means say ye ma akwanya baako na wo se agina wo ntimi nyina bio. Ti afenyo ma ke so mampanim na bonten no nka. Ma o ma party pressure ma no me say ya memo any democracy. Afei was LGBTQ, other than MPP, NDC for a common or two. Now, my and she says, Rashibi, your crack, come my motion at a key effect. I had a gap for can be swa ye free woman there. One much on baby, and some men say, Mammy, too.
Oh, that was it. On the winning and see equity. Papa, no, no, think I tried the market as the answer. Now, best I was it. And until now, the honorable minority leader cautioned the NDC for CBS and the BBC. About will be Anya Ketua.
Okay.
In fact, school prefect more than you.
Now, the school prefect today, be a class captain. School prefect today, said the whole school. Class captain. Yeah.
I don't say, and she were talking from American. So I was East. Or my chance here to lightweight Bruce.
I said, depends on the copy.
And the NDC.
Aye. Say, Oba and the honorable Nayere. And on the 8.
Honorable, you
Owia on the Irene.
Ah, sir.
Ah, hey, serious one.
You know a Brady reader
now. Bloody widow. And you said, so we knew you number can be actually the about for now. Yes, Obia you say, oh, bloody widow be out.
So when you had one question, now we had one question with the
no be bloody widow.
Why a bloody widow? Because Sanunti,
but you see, as you can, who. I don't know. And I'm a branch about MPs New Year. I hope we didn't be
it's for sympathy. But it's for sympathy.
Yeah, that's true.
For sympathy. Until our political parties, you know.
Yeah, no more pushy. And
it's
been working.
And working, until normally say, we cry, say, be a papa no a Muslim. When Baba was on a party, no be push ya the funeral na ko share. It be a 2 days to even the elections.
No.
The amount for could we are a whole woman free in the
go trouble balo.
Not the akoto or the akoto aba. What is it? But Nyami any more going forward. Me gidi say NPPD akaka krebi na yabro yesu na twa. You just about 5 days. Na Nyami adum. Na ye free. As for ye bebe chiri die. Hu bejo. Because abre no say kuro die. To say pompa bo say e pai na dwini tu a. E kuro na da hon die nkakra akra. E bi wa dwina ntu a. Na ha dwini. E dwini betu memenda. E dwini tu memenda wi a. Set ye bi e.
Be mi amukro.
E bi wu. E be mi an nkakra. But we are afraid na NDC for ba wo mo die no so. The honorable minority leader no. Because CCI Haiti, CCAD, President Mahama, the Nimnese will win a juma.
Okay.
And then this is for offending power for now.
That's right.
The free for all. Saying President Mahama, and that's one can be grown contest.
Debbie.
Okay. Don't be power for now. And me sure say what to tell and send me be as a Z because. O ma so simply because o many PSA say ya o de be say aban no ne o ma mamu.
That's right.
Nti e wo so mo pekwan bi fa so na o mutia so and the on na si so de wa yiri mo den pa. So the na sha ase po na de ni page asem aba. Nti the honorable minority leader na e caution traba bia ya hwe ase ansa na obesere ya wasere. Wunyini ya men kwasara kwati ya.
Okay.
Ye and the whole plane the air caution ni bibia e da Ghana for wedi modeja say wo de wo fi say bibia ye okay ma wo nya mai na afei na wo beba enti say wo de ni pagya ni mu a ebia na be chen ye de no because mo de mo na mo power enti the tendency say wo fi say wo mia wani a force na wo nya wo benya state support the incumbency advantage no ebeba wo ho na wo bia wo de ayere ho atumi awini aba no eno na ma NDC die no heated any dangerous no because obia feel say nyame ye nadom no obenya franka etubre dibre na ebeboa o bibia ata na chi sese na ban na wo power and sa aban no na ebeye adwuma aboa no ema ono ode akopre nkunimdie no a o hwehwe eno na ma omo de no ebeye too heated okay de ohun na NPP mu eye nketoa de ebeba wo
ohun say NDC de ne be hu
ebeye too
I didn't try because they are in power no try
yes and obi afise de obe contest bibi afise se nyame ye nadom no tumi mia na ni franka ano a o wa ban ne ta na chi incumbency advantage no ho ebeba into obomoden amia no ho kakra bia
na say wo ko incumbency na wo nye the choice of the government no so
the choice of the government in the the party for no pressure kra be ma wo government no kra won't mean deny
nipa no correct
so what you say because the party people no feel say bo nipa no won't me meji to me nkoso ma wo mo enti wo has to say who you should govern and Omanhene, this is Ghana, this is Africa. Abiding to me say nipa memoano
because say NDC super so 8 years.
That is the point. And enya to me yes akwasa won't mean you any into be and the hona omo ha no
nti hono de omo say omo de no be butubutu
omo de no de
now why are you predicting
brutal day that you predicting do mo no
but it's the reality
susukuru wa be susu amame no
eno a
mama lady ne friends ajo abo ahema
amabo ahema
na nyom na kama
pa eno abi na susu eno a no
be susu amamo the predictive doom so mo predictive doom ma ya
mo so mo predictive doom ba mo ka jo mo nyina yi de ere so ogina ho no
o hwe enu
afiase o ma hwe ase no ebe ehu
ya won sra kwatia trade ma hwe ase
ansa no aka be de
wasre
okay
so ye de ye nyine wa obi anka se bibi ye nka se o mo nkoye te se de emre bi o mo ko miemia papa ba ku yi kofodua ko miemia ni hwe anom ne ade ya so ye nka se o mo nkoye se bi anse o mo ma me francais se si am mo ko tu ni bro mama mi ano koye
ba NDC elections we no omoko elections we are obuni obi o ye sitting no and now ye formal
ehwo na asem ne won
akoye this time a new person all together
obi
atimi we ni
danger ne ho ne wo
because for almost 16 years
from
Professor Mills to President Mahama it has become say yenim se Mahama na eko and mo said am contest sir. The only contest of Professor Mills the late Konedo Ajimai Funka Games when no crown on na it is a see no there
free for
you be to me win it
and to be to make sim and any pan be do so kakra e be ko enim kakra
oh menya sure
e be ko enim kakra
menya sure kra we hu nipa be 9 pe bi
oh be nya nipa be enum
and the 9 do yesterday
ah enum so on say NDC na entire no so sir unlike NPP to me nya 17
aye
so what I say you to me nya 17 to me kwanya be 8 no me ade aha enti say NDC no de normally no say
we hu ase do ketia Julius Debra a friend say Harry Nedris
no there be Ambrose be to me
I'm my list
let me list because I or company
and Nana Jane mama no so I want to say o me apo
o ma hene so de asem beba
ade
so
mama no so wo me apo
mama na de as wo me apo na asem kofo na e wo me apo ma no
Dabi na so je wo me apo ma wa wo beba
na wo me apo ma no
and this your contest for many power nya grow
na mi adom e beduru o mo sa cha no na ye kuro ni ye wu
na wu
ha ntini ati akire ehwe bi
na mo ta ni
ya betina akire ni ahwe bi ke ye ni obi ani man so
okay
but no kre I ho no so man the honorable minority leader can another issue ehia the LGBTQ
that's right
going into election 2024 the NDC behaved said here how I work Ghana pa and say President Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo and sign LGBTQ plus document na akone. Meanwhile, nobody a court for transmitter issues and me and Kudruno and the Speaker of Parliament na Krabe Jitum Emma Ghana for Yahweh say woman to me and transmitted document because of the court issue. Okay. Mekai, the Honorable Sam George, Minister for Communications now.
That's right.
And near my year or who to a point, say Mekai, one of the ambassadors, is this the Swiss ambassador or one of the ambassadors? Krano can sema, Yamian no credit
is all catcher.
And say or catcher. To a pointer, not the first a non quan campaign message. Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo yebonsa. Me ni masofufuo bia. Ba ko bi papa one papa tete bi. Asofu mpanyefo Ghana ha ibi akọ.
Lawrence Tete.
Me sure. No more year I think I'm a pastors conference or so. Opai mu kan sese Nana Ado anse ono a be leading kofo amachi to the Jubilee House. Ene ada asofufuo bi ni nsem o mo keka ye efa. Omanhene yete ha nei aye kase. Say ne nansen ye. NDC for afa kuntunase. E the LGBT crowd plus nsem akɔhye ye wo machine.
Na NDC for ne.
Document the teachers manual
naka board chair say eye nifa so.
Since when?
Oma be pacho.
Meba.
Onto ma ye.
Omanhene nya abotra.
Menyabuta.
Since when? Enna LGBT plus nsem ekopie education sector eye naka adwuma. Ebre bay na NDC for hu sa.
Okay.
Okay 2024. Okay Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne NPP breso. Sa bre no omu refi naka. And ntumi nye ni bofaso because naka board chairman was a chairman panyini no. Document no read ansa no mo approve.
Definitely they will read.
Enti wo hu ye. Minister ebe kan bibi foforo. Minister document no wan hwem.
Or approve ye.
Ansa no approve no wan hwem. So what you say? One of say the vice president, the executive secretary say BB Pratt, Amma Pratt say that lady no crowd obe kan say it's a document no NPP for document omuja ne ho the ho na me re ho ye no says NPP ja documents eto na nya obaye no onkan onya ne hwe no wapia so wawo so say enko na Omanhene dey dangerous e wa asem ne ho ne say apart from the yehun wo teachers manual so nim say baby anasa topic ne hye wo the classroom teaching no na ye for the first week and the second week into by the time say be pie na teacher for na chira
no ma chira wie
into NDC ebu ni nchi and Omanhene since NDC buy LGBTQ ho nsem me ye sure say akosoro because so mo buy ye te Ghana here and na gay couples be ekotwitwa pictures ni ade wo the Ghana's Independence Square.
That's right.
And I'm a boy. And the niema akoso efa LGBTQ plus. Menye sure sanka was about now NDC for come man tum per the data omo year what 2024 against the NPP and Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Even when Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo apai makase enya dia o makwan se LGBTQ plus no emeye adwuma e wo Ghana ye nya asofofo kasa asa abre no enne ya ye dia kopie ye nwumasua mu ikura de sofo bia aka na no ato dia ha adwen wo ye ya mamu nhihye ye ho no eno because it looks like say enipa e wo man we mu say ye ni neutrals say ya ban bi dia omunya ano kasa eya ban foforo dia na obi aka na no ato and no na ye dangerous ema o man we because say to me acquire to a point I could do this level of say teachers manual any reading materials na ye dey kwachira the classroom no ye the LGBT plus no akohihim em ye dey akire nkwala de awi ansa na obi so ye naka o be ka say ye ni bofaso a de ye dey akire ma ne kone ye be dey reverse no kwan be ne be fa so I be reverse no but ni nyina mu ni ye de se ne ye ka kire Ghana fo etu amanfo se the NDC fo di hu dwuma di hu ayi takwadwa yi omo ya hu maso yi omo be ba ye westerns and da ho play amanfo enti but inshranka nyame se da obi anim adagya asofofo ne ade omo kasa ai 2024 a ene omo ka omo no atum me de minim de entra but minister bia no Uganda no ade no onya mu nkowura se no o criticize bibia ni ano o kasa bi bibia ni ano o kasa bi na aban no man minister afi papa ye ntina no kasa on kasa na omanfo sha ase na ne ye no na tia na wo kasa ne ado se aduane hye no me kasa aduane hye no
you don't talk
so what I say yes be free and men na panke o so obi mfa didie ne kasa de didie ne kasa de enkoso men kan so obi edidi o but on so wanu mu ye ma kasa ho den nti bia na bibi hye o manu kodofo so nyomo no so obom na ma anye so a e bia ma no kurade mu
ana me se kurade
nti se bia na no kurade mu a wontume nye so o pai agu a wontume nye so amen because na no kurade mu but sente saade ya nka de course wa no mo se enye e wo na nado danko akufo ade ne NPP abreso no enei de chance a koso de bro sa ne so
but so mo reintroduce you the LGBTQ and I'm not very careful catch them say omo parliament omo kwe it's part of their agenda ombedi hu komo na because nanado ansign no 2024 parliament and the 9th parliament no any krata no ewu so there should be a reintroduction to go through the procedures in parliament you know omuntungwi
reintroduction na koso dada and na the majority leader to say the minority leader kan e pair kwan bi so e prevent the discussion of it no on the floor of parliament and am boy nti what is the reintroduction ni bi
ba so omuntungwi e wo
engosi dabe said the omo ka wo opposition ne die enka bi omo ba na ba na nka ye wie ho asem ka pe omo nu mu asem ani omo ne ye
okay
so what you say NDC anu mu asem ene ne ye e wo opposition including the president himself President Mahama namu ni ministers ni omo ka ye nsem omo ka ye minim die ntia bibia omo ka no 2024 ede to Ghana fo asoma Ghana fo gyan omo mu gidie gi omo di ye eto abama omo no omo backtrack efri ho eye bibi foforo eye de e chain de no omo ka ho asem
okay
enti the minority leader ni the 86 86 others no so see 87 the minority leader is a gang of 86
the mighty
minority with the party man ye be koso aye ya femudi de wo se ye hia se ye ka na omanfo te ye kirikiri mu omo te ase bia no ye be koso a kirikiri mu omanfo te ase it's up to the omanfo se omo fa hu nsani ani no omo hwe hu se the NDC for kan ye was in opposition ededa omu ema omu gi omu di ye no eye no ho adwuma eno ho anamontuo eno ho dwumadie ena omu di no ana me gidi say ye kwa yanim na ebere kwa yanim no by the time see ye bedru the 3rd year no Ghana for na beba behu say nsem omu ka kire omu no eye no kre ena omu di ho dwuma ana se omu tumfuturo ena gu omu ani.
Finally on the issue of taxes any of mampani eme kanche Ghana for so uncle biu ni ade mo kan ho asem
Omanhene metese also mampani aka no go kan wa Singapore
also uncle biu onye
na ye beto aba no Ghana for na ato aba ama na wo bibia be pai mu aka Omanpanyin so wakasa bebre after okoka wa Singapore so wakasa bebre Singapore no kura bia nya obi a na hwe bi TV ne bi tinye obi a na te but Ghana had the original Ghana television so GTV anya bia e benya other TV stations bi mo mafa other radio stations bi so mo mafa
tumpeso on tu na num tu
bam ne senti ne se Omanhene party for no betumi ay dedwum ama bia atomanpanyin tirim me third obi be konhye dan ha yes omanpanyin bia no one of the African countries no say freedom of speech ne dey over by freedom of after speech no and
I can't guarantee that for you Idi Amin
so what you see enti Omanhene omanpanyin ebetumi atonu tirim ma third term but as to say Omanfo na dwen betumi accept saa nhyehyeye no eno nso ya another issue because e was say bi omanpanyin ne nkofo titire ne NDC fo na e pushi so nim say enya NDC fo ni nyina na pene saa de no so be kai na nsan de mu general secretary ko mesfie ko fayai ko toto mesas nom ne ade siko fantifo yi nom ne ade a ye de ne yetie bi ene ye de ani nso hwe bi Owie ni party for dodo na dwae so asa de o cassette yankofo bi nom ne ade but e bia o hwe hwe kan because yete Ghana ni bia o te o man we se lorry fair board den kura na nyame ye nadom no tumi jani no di ka de ne nan twa bia obekọ anim no okofo tietia no ho na lorry fair na etia o de durufi o wasundwe your man for hwehwe ne yasundwe enhyehyeye bia edidede ebeba oman we mu no eno na so omanpanyin John Mahama avoid as for so obekọ term and I won call for pushing for term me de enhame after all say me NDC but after so obo push yewe no omanpanyin agi atomu no
the
Ghana for issue
and the opposition no so
Omanhene hamponye opposition no Ghana for no the only opposition na kura issue no
opene so sa
obeka bi so what you say sir obeka bi because say ebeya akoye te say de na dwen mu ani nani so be te say de na asa omanpanyin no ya dufuru pe enanu nya ato de tirimu a bibi fufuro bi a obeka bi a onti na ekofa yawo oyene e de akoba oman we so oyene ekoba oman we through that action no Omanhene wa akura say omanpanyin no nim wasomonyo yete Ghana ha nya ne to abawi a say ya ha ye ni opposition na okoye demonstration na sabe mfaso won hwe dadi so what you say nti wudi omanpanyin a wudi na somdwem even though say be a president no kura accept defeat and I lose and accept defeat say the omanpanyin John Mahama here in 2020 so what you say but still no I'm preventing another danko akufo ado so ni manpanyin obedi ni manpanyin but the dede ni oye ne beba oman we mu a emma wan kasa kura wo manpanyin na obedi no wasomonwo no eno na so manpanyin Mahama avoid enu nti na minority leader friend no say onpai munka wo Ghana ha badwasere de mpanyin says ahweniete mpani mu a ebi nyira opai mu ka badwasere de wo Ghana ha afei wo ma push for the third term agenda no ahoden kura wo mu di push no wo ma bambebu eto obetwa simple matter we no be say go come nti keke wa ye conferences wa kasa bebre Ghana ha free Senegal ba ye am say na 4 days ya kro manpanyin echo program bi o kasa think one of the programs no baby o manpanyin be gina kasa bia see ye fa and think one of the programs omanpanyin Mahama empai munka say men third term simplicity na asem ni sumtwa
all right Odobosia mama mra wo chen na ensema ya broso no wonso so menye wadwenkyere wo
ni nyina ma ni afi at the point in time I engage you sene be ya yankomodie no bibia be kama
okay
Omanhene me no kasa sesi sania enyoma bo ekosoro sania anamo a etu a ekosoro ana se ebafo Ghana had the bonifreno inflation. Osisia, I have 100 moon, and yet 3.9. 5.4%. Okay, December, dear no. I just said, and my boy Cosro Ghana had it, and so Yamiado, and Cosro him to send you a call. Brana MPP for Omujano, something within the region of 23%.
23. That is 2024. Even as of January 7, 2025.
Yes, 2025. Me who a baby a bagana within 1 year, one ma nyoma bo aba from film kase party said your man penny John Dramani mama yi. Yade a Ghana for any jam, Ghana for any so. Me no kasa sesi ube here sidi no mako be se du any actually po bi a ben son na de akoto dollar no ba ko
10.7.
yes. Enti we here sidi ni bebre na de akoto dollar ba ko te se first. Ghana ha mrebi ekoya mana be hia sidi ni be se du son ansa na de nya dollar ne ba ko
edun so no de enu
edu son
se menu bi enu no and 10.7
o san be kan boti de nbio
there be and 10.7 no yeah the Bank of Ghana rate na etutu
oh se
obi ye propaganda say dollar nam 12 because it's an 12 yeah the Bank of Ghana there as at 20 the highest of it was 16.7.
Omanhene me 17.8.
Bank of Ghana.
Yeah.
Never.
Inti. Me 17.8.
Any one who need.
Oh no, me pa.
Okay, what do you have in you?
Inti ene dollar na ba form.
And a year pa.
At least because NB before crack I said. See the to me ma NDC I could do 25. Ana me boa. Omoka che se o mo de ma
NDC for na wo han kan 25
no keka ho ni nyina ya de a MPP for I kan. Enne ye nyina ye nim se yen gross international reserves yen sika edru ahihia bre a ye de apodwe ba bi a ye de be kra nyoma. Edru $13 billion.
Yes. From 8 billion to 30.
Yes, from 8 billion to 30.
Within a year.
IMF forecast say enka 2028. If you mean san ka we enimi in 2026 account 2027 2028 ni be duru ho nti ye duru ho mpo mfie mean san
cover of 6 months
yes
unprecedented
ye duru ho mpo ansan na mfie mean san du nyina na ye ntoto ye papa o man panyi John Dramani mama aban any NDC e de egu akwam say emwa Ghana for ene obi kura ka kire me say wonya obeto petrol no de asie say petrol no the way ani bo na yefo na any diesel
say the coins na top petrol
ebi an coins yes san na dey atop
me nua Edward obi bi say say petrol say the coins na top
aba form
ba o ko pump ho no de a na o ko top petrol na o guta private car emu ode enu de o ye bugu ma o 500 na ta say bibia de dadina abom makra
ana no bi kura so we the wheelbarrow ekotobi na o de akosi baby
o de koye de
say o de sie wheelbarrow no ko pe baby dey say the rubber bi akaso na we
ese wara
o ampa o de wheelbarrow no de kwa akode
ekueni
Omanhene de American nyina ne say nyame ada Roma afi ne mre kakra o man panyi John Dramani mama ni NDC bai Ghana sika sem toto ye eni bibia aye kama
okay
ye mpa ebo ni say aban be gina ne na so no wa ye de ebeboa o man na bibia aye kama sa eno na ye nuanum MPP for titi avenuma kan ye nuanum say dabi se ne nuanum ko say ya nhyase ya nkasa anyi dede a enuanum be kochiwa ma ya manyuku no entimi de mi hu se o mo press conference o mo ye eni o mo nsem a o mo kan hu ni nyina no ka kire se nkofo be hu se yenso ye wo ho
just that
yes say yenso ye wo ho so o mo no so o mo afia ni pa afia bi but so ati ase enti se ye din ni ye se ye ko aginko a parliament a ko fo do so che be ze ni ati enka enti yen kasa se ni amanfo be hu se be de ye wo ho me de sa na me hu no anu na me san so hu no se MPP e wo ho sesi a no agu MPP na agu
asia
oh yeah Omanhene agu so ni se me de meka no kra kire MPP party na agu
MPP agu
ni nya bia e gina so
The omu ye nyina no
before can be chemo.
Oh Debbie, see agu.
2017 almost me party agu.
Debbie. Me say MPP ohu agu.
Eni nine bi
Debbie enkwa bi anim, kra bi anim.
Oh.
The afanyo mark mu ye nyina obi a press one no abagi ni din. A personal aggrandizement.
Ba party na de agu.
Party na nkasa de enye tiasefo bio.
Ah omo ko elections memre dan.
Oh Debbie. Agu kra. About 1 year symbolic. Enye party a say dey away. Enye party agu. Eni nkwa. Enyini nya bia egina so. Ni nankoko nyina ayemre. Ti yenye bibi ti say dey amanfo so be hu say.
Asa enkwa kakra wo.
Ti ase ewuo. Amahini ni nyina no na MPP party say na ti ase ewuo. De nti amega say ti ase ewuo ni say. Sa se mi avenue marking ko kan pa. Aya na me dwene ho a.
O kan bebre o de import.
Oh me ba say me nhye me ho so. I was wan nhye ho so a. Afanyo marking so MPP problem. MPP ogu party no. Abrantie no the way our yen nyoma as minority leader no ogu party. Because ye hu minority have organ hada. Na die no die there be our form kra. O say me hu judgment. Me hu your friend is o say judgment for a long time. Me hu gbagbe, me hu mi anga sam senior brother do na Haruna Idris. When you dey there wa lower bar no kra.
How?
Me chiro di entry. Say mama be gine bio. Ana onyine bio. Da be na be ye asemu a sebe epass mu ana ehu hia se wo so obi mpotimi di gina simpie so ka. Nipa na be president ba ko. Wonye mfie 9. Mfie nwotwe abeda ntem. Wasan ba bi asan be mampe. Okay, Article 66 of the 1992 Constitution. E kire sa Ghana ha obi be mampanyin a obe mampanyin mfie 9 mienu. Entina Professor Prempeh committee ni ka say there can never be any ambiguity about presidential term limits in Ghana. It is not a conversation that must even be started. Ye can go futrom say go for be nya yem hye to say the meaning as it will treat to me. But otherwise it can never stand on all fours. Eni nyina so obi e was a sabi obi a wo pa asem papa bi aka bi aka. On the 25th of August 2025 I know one penny call Singapore. No catch the wiase afa na nyina say nya dia obekọ bio o man penny John Dramani mama say nya dia obegina bio say man penny say ne term so 2028 so man penny bie na no ka sa asemi a na wo say wo de sebe wonu mo ke county wo pese o ye press conference na wo san di tu dwem say ne be ye be che attention na me hunu so wo bibia na oni bibia
Na che enya de was ye gina simply so.
Enya sem mpe was eba. The constitution is very clear.
But why would he make the general secretary of the NDC make a statement on 31st in such anger that sycophants are calling on the president for a third?
Good. Some adi kan akire modern mo NDC aban abo.
That's right.
And obi anim say your mama aban or born who modern. MPP for kura nim say aban born who modern say ya. Wo mo aban mu ba bio na be yedi.
Okay.
And before me, I was saying, send your decoy. Then I can't no matter gold board no. Because so many say it's also a key plank of this government.
Okay.
Now once it's a soft be nonsense, soft be because your mama we are on sign to us. One more because your mama to us and send your NDC for one. Ko for bebre one chain, almost because your mama on to us, we send the my day. I swear any. I am pa. Name Ghana mamra edibu man, dear neka. I say we are man penny 4 years, me no. Uni kwanya say obeto atu bio
a renewable
once in vie 9 uni hu kwan say obede ubeko bio
for you a person like Afenyo marking and
obi asabe mrani oke ka ho na utimi gina simpio so keka we na ebia they just want to occupy the air just enframa no work bi agum keke because John Mama na nkasa ye ni a ye nim John Mama John Mama kra wo de chani bio so onye man panyin tete ma onye what the chairman penny John Dramani mama say on sanye man penny biwa onye da onye obeka so kwagina ho me onye endi say o man penny John Dramani mama be man penny biwa na onye man penny biwa enya de mba wo ye because the time aso a wo na mini ase edu say wa ko ka say onye man penny biwa Singapore na de no ama me kan o Ghana So you saw kind Article 58 of the 1992 Constitution. Executive authority, a crowd man penny ho.
It's vested in the president.
One also na Obia who here dear. No more me can rank sir. Or no obi or number 1.
The first
Ghana ha meboa. Na same be obeka biano. And only the number 1 policy statement ya obeka. It doesn't matter baby obede obeka. It is on penny ko jina UN. Now making any policy statement in respect of Ghana's internal politics ya. Eka Ghana for to the extent that it is coming from him.
Speaking on behalf of Ghana.
Yes, for and on behalf of the country. And when you say this all can Singapore, no one can warranty. When you got one can warranty, I have also can. What can you pay for a idea that will pay say, Yadi obey man penny. On ye man penny. The master said, Yabama Sassam no. One more one chain a bad place or Munya ya. Go bad, yes, I know won't mean prevent you be as or Virginia Sanya origin. Yes, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. And the obi betimi adaso na esa fese papa yi ni modi monti obeto asubi na emom dia na emra nika ye mra nso ntimi nkobi enya dia obeyesa de o man panyi ma ye obi a obu Ghana constitution atem bia na ohese Ghana ebe gina ye ni asese o men nan munyam ani nsira abam. John Mama is not somebody who will ever throw to the dogs the peace and stability we enjoy as a nation. I mean, you read say your 1992 constitution. NDC na wo constitution we midwifed the 1992 constitution. We midwifed this 1992 constitution. Yenim wom. And Omanhene, let's put that matter. And I say afenyo can be a we need bibi obe kanti also set agenda be man go for there. But Ghana for nim the woman ntinya dia asanse mi. Omo de be ya adwuma. O see the presidential primaries no drew ha. Na dey e jabetom.
Guys, it will be messy. For someone the end of time. To quote him, a better time.
Omanhene mami ka dey ba control. Party na your friend NDC no. Ne fapem ni nya ni nyina so enye MPP dey ni bia. NDC dey ni different. Ma just what you say. Metia says me NDC ni. Me NDC di, me NDC ni because of ideology.
Okay.
Not because of tribe or anything. But me NDC di because me feel it's social democratic principles no. Are better for the development of a nation. Yeah? One saying Joe Wise. Also, why you interview Biaka say MPP here chairman or TCS you doing it. And I want it.
Oh yes.
Was he MPP here chairman or can before Titinania?
The near thing the nice for.
Yes, he doing it. Me can Matthew for you nani for you na TSA. You be drew. You be flag bearer. Obesha your mama na ya obe to second terms meaning say nyame adom ne Ghana for adom nti ye beto about 2028 NDC be say we ni bio. It doesn't matter who will come but me and the wonye dom no be also economic measures say awadane computer repairer
kwana na computer
anya ba me IT your friend say e be say no ba me dey be
ba me repair
say IT
Away.
Oh yeah, IT. What's the American? IT clearly. Obi oba after John Mama behind this baby in elections. The enemy say ye modern more ebebo wa bemu. Send ye beto to Ghana sikasem. Send ye be Ghana akwan. Send ye be siesie Ghana. Send ye be kire kendisema obuo. Any odowo ma Ghana for no. Eno na Ghana for be ho asan to abade ama ye bio. And your mind says, I had been in war, Senya, ye mu Ghana, and Magana nye kamaso. Omanhene, I decided all the ponko, echo baby. It will not matter who will ride the horse. If the horse is not strong, your journey will not be complete. Ma just what you say.
Just say.
And found when you be a dinner, say, I nye Ghana economy ye, near mu Ghana, Maya. Say I didn't go on ba Ghana for any day,
that's right.
But ye see to Ghana economy, ye near ya de beboa Ghana for ma Ghana for bottom ye na sunjeni bibia ba. And for who will be a dinner Ghana for better about their mind. Ghana for need ye when people will be, you know, MPP agu. Obi say 90 before Kasa, I said the China for Kasa actually Ghana for no. Ghana for one day. Because GD and Ghana for war when people no. Apa. Enti afenyo onya botre eduru ho a ye be ye niye ama ye kama se si ade de ye ni wo so ni se ye be siesie Ghana ye na Ghana sika se mo MPP for say no a
bibia James repenim patekunu ya hwe na bibia aye kama enti ehọ no de no ehọ na me de ba bia
okay
me I want sit here and wish them any evil ye bomb empire so mo program mo ba be ye no bibia be kama but ye ka to obi on be yi ni bia no ena mama mu papa ni sika sem papa e ba tutu nya de 2028 obesun that is a fact and that's our focus mamemra LGBTQ also you see Omanhene bio minu asie do so anti asie asofo
1 minute maybe on change see we turn out for a quick commercial
oh that's okay
maybe I know at so
oh that's okay
Ade baako a ɛyɛ wɔ wiase ɛne sɛ wopɛ sika atere w'adwuma mu anaasɛ wo nneɛma bɛgu pot na wonnya sika mfa nkɔ yie na adane w'adwendwen ɛno nti na wɔ sɛ wonnya sika korabea a ɔbɛboa ma w'adwuma no atu mpɔn Jabinira Bank PLC ɛne w'ani da soɔ yɛn asampa loan ɛwɔ hɔ ma wɔn a wɔpɛ besia ɛyɛ import wɔn nneɛma anaa wotɔn auto parts wotontɔn cars nneɛma ahodoɔ bia ɛma a motɔn ntoma anaa ntadeɛ saa akwanya yi wɔ hɔ ma obi bia sɛ wobɛbɛ Jabinira Bank na woni abɛhwehwɛ nkɔmɔ na yɛn asampa loan ne deɛ yɛnyi collateral yɛnyi commitment fee deɛ wohia yɛ application letter yɛbɛgyina so dana na mo yɛ recognized institutions na mo pɛ sɛ mo adwuma ɛnyini kɔ soro ɛno ne qualify mo ma motum bɛgye loan na mekae wo sɛ interest rate ne yɛ kitewaa bi yɛwɔ savings account current account microfinance shares susu dachinti investment group loan fixed deposit ɛne deɛ keka ho Jabinira Bank PLC yɛn head office wɔ Asante Dwabin yɛn other branches ni bi so ɛwɔ Ejoso Roman Hill Adesheman Pankrono Magazine Road Abuaso Fumesa Onwe Sipetimpom Bonre Dwabin ɛne yɛn ni office a yɛbie no Atonsu Market a ɛbɛn Kumasi High School Junction frɛ 0271 40 9340 Ana 0544 74 58 56.
Honorable and Nanugu so kasa honorable to us.
okay so Omanhene da say LGBTQI again I mean say any MPP for an election na Ghana for to abeti ya Omanhene ya me nyini leader say obi betimi ada Ghana for you know so omo da Ghana for no Ghana for you free man you free it's just only a matter of time Ghanaians are not so unsuspecting so obi betimi ada Ghana for nim the echo and the ebe nyina nti na ada Ghana for so na Akufo Addo ko ye interview Al Jazeera na interview anu busa ne say LGBT consensem no te say wo Ghana no keka no was you there's no coalition emerging and that it was only a matter of time na coalition be emerging na agin hini no keka when na Ghana for say eja wanye de wan ka say bra o kansa no ye mampanyin on say medical kasa ne say o mampanyin na say bi o be kasa bia aya na e policy mampanyin ase me fi na no ba bia no e ba ya aye policy o man policy ti no mampanyin kasa o hwe de o kansa na waka na Ghana for ni asori for say o mampanyin say we fi wa no abayi de enya de ese fata straight away Akufo Addo kire say e ba LGBTQ ai ne ho nsensem no a e ba LGBTQ ai ne ho nsensem no a onyu obi a na ne ni abre say obede obeku atia just by that statement and I know Sam George ni ebi mo kan bo mu say omo we the coalition bi ba no mo the private members bill ai dey akọ parliament bra bill ne ba ye nyina ne ho nsensem of course Sam George ni NDC mpanyfo ne omo aka na gigire but o hwe omo a na atwe omo ho agina nchen pa ye ne enu antim fo jo ha na nse o kasa bebre na de NDC fo de ne no ka sa ko ne ho parliament MPP fo tia onya abotre nti eduru mi bia Sam George modwuma ne koso on
na ho odin ni na ho kekan was adwuma no ho say software or MPP ni ne kofom because na ne party for na afre no atia ne say onko nechi ana na say your brother say afenwuma ken one thing video bi oye ya was say those were very difficult times for him because you know abaina na muntu a wotu owo sika semu no amanya sa sika ni free mu ba na nkeka ho ukopia sa ade no a ahia na amaga na sika sem ne ho nkeka ho na problem indeed to the mind of the then MPP government there na sika sem ne aman mu ayon ko fani de keka ho nti ye pia ne bebre ahia ya de a ebe haye enna kikiri parliament pass bill na hana me interest ni wo parliament a pass bill no abeto man penyin 2 days ansana yenu ya Richard Sky so kaya o de bill no ho asem na ekọ Supreme Court no na Akufo-Addo ko hia ambassadors ya ewo Ghana nyina ono mu edi nhemu bi ho na o ka say obi kura hyase de bill no ho asem no ekọ court bra na asem no ko enya no Supreme Court ho na Ghana fo be ka say na da asem a enya no court na o mampanyini aka ene na o mampanyini o makoshe kutupa na oni hu bi na ye din se mi ekọ court ana eno so Ghana for by na Ghana for ebobo menka the public perception MPP aban no ekreti man who in respect of issues of LGBTQI ne honkeka ho but Omanhene ahana nsem ni nyina o kan article 106 7 and 8 Emrani says the parliament or passing marabia na emrano ekodi omampanyini ni table so a awase omampanyini wa sente o sign na bill no ebeye law majoso ati ase na emom so wa hwese bibi wo hu no ntimi sign sa amrano ma no within 14 days on sign famra na nko parliament non fa memorandum enka ho enchirem
a stated reason why I want to mean
sign that's the memorandum mon fa kan non sign fa ko na shebi. This is what our constitution says. Your constitution no anka say ya de mra betu o mampanyin ni na obi de mra nko court a akọ ndi mo mampanyin inside. That's not what the law says. And anybody can read the constitution. Article 106, 7 and 8. And Akufo-Addo no opportunity be say LGBTQ mra no ko be sign ama Ghana for any age.
Na ochro parliament on to me sign.
Wantro.
The kind say
kwan ya fa so de aba no.
The transmission,
yes,
the way of the transmission,
yes,
yes.
Again,
what does the constitution say?
The constitution doesn't say anything
about transmission.
The constitution doesn't say anything about that. It was not even a matter. A new man who be a what they be cross so at the end say be ya one side. If you say court no buya asem no brand before ko. When say court buya against you. When we say court can say do me no. Na enyim akwam. Actually sometime about around the December last year or so court buya asem.
That's right.
I mean clearly president or a lawyer. And he say yeah the bail about 2 in respect of article 106. Now on sign 2 weeks. But parliament amanese on sign for memorandum come. And now to say within 30 days catch a council of state. Omanhene didn't do that. And he said Ghana who say why ye Maradona sem adrebo mra in this way. Obeka say ofo aso. And he said na no oye nyina no. Ekoti anaban no abatu ni. Enye the NDC for kan yenko a by conduct Nana Akufo-Addo by conduct the way I Richard Sky court say Nana Akufo-Addo ye last the technicalities cross o mrana sign ma ye to abawie answer Supreme Court do bia the na ekoso nya Ghana for hu
cut to chase NPP etraso ya to abetia o Ghanaians by Omanhene Jomama say so ba ne in 3 months time he will assent to it. Oba no. Yes say emrano eda ho no. The 4th parliament the 9th parliament no. Say ya ansenti eni mra na wu.
Oh say the last time I knew share baby I now why share. I do am some kind. I'm saying one pen edit test music buy. I'm saying Jerry Ahmed.
Jerry Ahmed say entesa.
What does it? But later speaker confirm we say bill no ne 9th parliament no. Ewuko. And do here there was an argument in parliament say yeah really ne chance here wo and second reading na and see that be yen chance here consideration stage aba we buy afini and amra no omale mra but you know my problem I na afenyo mark all the day was hard me Avenue Mark say business committee of parliament account. Who is a business committee no na chere bills are. Yen family nim ni de yen family akire dwumadi an edidi o tine bedi no kan account bi. Endi odi we bra be tu dwan na me hu de o pa akire. But you see, I want to give an assurance. Saying this year buying on my penny John Damani Mama, a damn. So my penny na be in a new mark say. Some now parliament here the better anymore. Over sign. They see I didn't one sign. They see I'm because I didn't one sign. But that's what I say. The parliament here Marana the better anymore. Over sign. Was I making another profound statement? Go for 10 days I did. Also, on no so yeah, assemblies of God ni mapa. Ni gidie wa radi mu oji nya midie. Nya dia ye de mra we betu no ni mo be no se obi a wanye de on sign. Me can be see the meaning say the kind no. I said this one chance say asofo na yedin. Asofo na yedin because wo mu ogidie wo mampanyi John Dramani mama
say mra na ye crowd wo be sign.
You see
enti no my
even there they are go school.
No me ba. I said me ba. It's because of how here you see amanya samni amamu wo yo mampanyi na. Send ya wo ye oniema.
Your actions.
Your posture.
Okay.
Every me behind before I say and this for to asofo enti. And asofo nkasa. Because by conduct, aban we ni o man panyina kire say ye wadwen papa wo Ghana ho na mo bi aye tuo efri yakumam. You can't blame your mama for that. In the asofo gidi say na enfie nwotwe na maanya ho hwe. Na enfie afi aban bi aba mo boni ti so bena because of politics. Asofo na ready lines no mehu. Say this for an sign mra we na about to obedu a ye be kwa ahunye hiem. We know. And this amra we. Anya danya o mampanyi John Dramani mama. I said do nya abotre. O mampanyi John Dramani mama obe sign sa amra yi.
Okay.
Sa loyi ekoto na nimo obe sign. Parliament here ebe say na honorable African ye no. Ebe ba your friend say ebe omo be schedule
omo business.
Aba business so amma ebe pass sa amra yi. Ama mampanyi John Dramani mama wa ye there wa sign. Or can book ni mu de. You see, I don't hear abuse or can same be. Name sem go for enti. O se bra asem ne ba ye no. Nanka obetumi aka se enye na ban penso na omo formality your friend say carry color. Unim say ade ne need textbook e wo teachers manual mu because textbook ne do me bi a eche ansa na aba. Ni say na teacher ni benya bibi e be ya kire kwan ama wo na bi kire mu nti no ma ye manual no e de aka ho. Any textbook mu na akola bi akoto akan na mum e wo teachers manual ni. Na say duka again ade we nche mu ba pefe but of course politics meti ase manual no mu develop manual no 2024 NDC buy on develop manual dia NDC buy on develop onye manual 2025 obi anya manual dia majo so ati ase but eno nkyere se NDC anya manual anti se na o manual ni mu 2024 aye mane nko enti na naka panyin ni ka se me pa mo chew anko ye ye frim ni na ye dey ebo fa so and before so want ase na ya na dey ha me say you see mo se mo ba bra wu ya na mo yere mpafe so ati ase but again this is what it is Ghana for wo gidie wa ban yo me say emma eni maeda mema eni memeda enya de a aban we be fo so say obi ni obi akogina independence square mema me no afi o manu ana o me de o mo pede sebi Omanhene say wonim say sebi say yeti ha sisi na machire ha bibi ikoso a sebi be de no but there was a ban and say obe condemn and how this she be go ha obe de obe say sa de enya de a ndisi aban be so and enya de a ye be say be ba so say na Kufu Ado ka say
all right
emre bi ba
so let me do the birthdays and quickly come back for final round. A special birthday to my lovely wife, Mrs. Eva Sewa Bonsuboatin. Eva Sewa Bonsuboatin, my executive producer, Dominic Kwaku-Boatin of Owia TV, the Hukani. Dominic, everything is in right places. You know what I mean, man? And Yabo Amanso, so an affiliate, Amicus Courier of the birthday. On also so the who attach birthday no. And unti if I say wabonsu boating and then woda happy birthday to you from your husband Dominic Kwaku Boateng of Owia TV. Deaconess Faustina Trail Dodunu. Deaconess Faustina Trail Dodunu, resident specialist of Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives. This is coming from your husband, Elekem Samuel Dodunu, CEO of Kenjin Water. Deaconess, and now who can is your trinkwa? Enjoy your day to the max. Abigail Nimo of Mampontain, and ne Eyawawoda, Abigail Nimo, Mampontain. This is coming from PK of Owia TV. And Kwabena Bonsu Amo, Dr. Amo of Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Papa no si o ma otrinkwa. Kwabena Bonsu Amo. Okay. Honorable. I'm more be 5 minutes. I'm in wrap it up.
I want to remember that. Nah, I'm Bruce. I can't say baby. The woman in Anna's and said now I can't do now. And said that if I saw now on mine for.
Sir.
Yes. Or shall see $3 aqua form nominally. I want you to born and tack around the money. Okay. Tackle who did yourself and Quatra. And Toronto crack, I was doing a real Japadian and I would walk around. Some fast winners. Okay. Few are buffum. Dollar buffum. Inflation are buffum. But the international security for new drivers no meet actually so bro because he entail a lot of face.
Okay.
At the same yang a few are for me. Now we count private cars and wow, you see private car the but Ghana for the door night could just so fat trot at the Cobama Ghana for did no. Few are now buffum and fast well was some mom and on a day. So what is yes, sir? Almost $1 buffum. Okay, you're ready. And near my Gina so Ghana ha at the tongue canea bo and in shoe boom. $1, inflation, fuel, and I'm a boy, and Yammy and Sawi, and no credit. Nin Abafon, component, I didn't think ya tongue canea in shoe boom. Not Ghana, Nino, O Cochia boarding. Meanwhile, oh, Sir, one Samarane, Sir Bafom, Sir Bafom, dear, and my former my buying for one. And your present mamma name, special assistant name. And this is for our dear. Yeah, my for 9%, near almost 67%. Oh, my wabine increment. I could you antumu. My nina or no breako banny at the end 9%, but they will be 67%. Almost one, Safon, among Kania, any woman shubo. And near my determined component are PRC. A gina so say dollar cost, say inflation cost. Fewer cosra. Ya de ton kanea ni nsuo boom. Saa niema ni nyina NDC aban za aba fom.
Aba fom so 5.4, 10.2.
For me, the o ka kire me za aba fom a mente ase ya ni ho because se ba fom asa saa niema ni nyina aba fom. E de niema foforo e ba fom. Ma me no koton ni moko ni wi a ne bobo ba ko na wo so no kanea na wo betua kan. Saa niema nyina aba fom no sanke wo se ba fom mama me
no correct.
Maame no koton moko ni niema nyina ni kobi ni ade nyina wo dwom wie ye no a wo kofie no trotro na wo kofo akofie no fiu aba fom dia sa trotro no sika bo ahyenti abo no e wo se ye te so mane ba fom
no correct
e die nti na da so gina ba bi e gina ba bi kura bi e wo mutum e nam so no ya te national security for na egu krom na I think about 5 days we have video back we are it's a KMA for security for near the driver for ni mate for be pepe keke upa and then PP NDC for next yes na ya memo onye the few times I tea few so yet cash into abo so ana mebo into dey no almost ya kofom for nkofo so mdi baro betobi nkofo so mbetobi asie nkofo so but Ghana ni na nti Mosi fuel na kofom no onyaso mfaso eme no adane ntokwa wo lorry stations ahodo Ghana ni na nti mo sam ho nsamra ne se wa ma dollar aba fom wa ma we aba fom no ne nkane abo ni nsuo bo even though say niam ni nyina aba fom no yatum nti mfaso ben na wo so ma so you see sa niam we nyina ekoso a it tells you one thing and am na o say for 4 months in Cocoa Gria for in June, Omoko beans, Oma aton sika akem, oma anton ye kra de omu ni da so. So man no omu si aye, omu si aban papa aba. For me, e bi a me yi papa na firo na me de boni a hye ho. Because aban boni hye ye nko a ene de sa na ma we be koso. So we sa ho samane. And then PP na ye dollar any 10 cedi ana. But ne yen kan ne abo, yen tum mu hwi mu sa. Enti se wo dollar beba 10 cedi dia sa ho samane. Ne ye beto yen kan ne abo, ne ye beto yen nsuo bo mu. E kire se nka gina ba bi agina na akura sa ne yen kan fa so wo so. Sa de tie sesi e kire se o ma e wo sika se o mo kopɛ dollar de adi o mu dwuma. Pe e na o mfa so wo so. But nipa dodo na aka edi akwani aba na e wo se sa niema no so mfa so e ko mu so no e wo hene import duties ya tum ba so mse dollar aba fo eniema ya tum ni nyina does it mean say any correlation bia any dollar ni twaka bia fuel no any transportation first no any twaka ana sa na ndisi fo ka kire Ghana fo ana so sa samrane na obesa wo ho samrane no de why na no de say people so niema sa na sisi o mo ya ate ase
Finally.
people so ne so de dollar na kofom the all per dollar no Bank of Ghana rate no de o ma coach but the all per dollar no kranya bank of banks no benya onya no commercial banks ade o kwa abochi ho some say nya no rate ni ye issue you issue Bank of Ghana de na e wo board so no be do na kane na soko ni ye show ho but o mind to me amete said dollar beba form fuel beba form inflation beba form na niema e bema Ghana ni no enya ahoto kakra enya fa ahodie kakra e wo na sitena ni mu ka obefo e de akofa na niema aba ma me na wo di dwa no oba bedru fie a kane ya bob ba ko bi obeso e de ahwe ni jare ho no de agbo ni nsuhunu bi adie saa niema no won samra ne a wo sa wo hu ni nyina se dollar aba fom we aba fom no saa niema ni nyina so ahuru afro pata enti wo ye den kwa ka kire maame na otidwo mo no se dollar aba fom enti bo se mame
anu nti bo se mame ana ba hye mame nche na afa ye mpagyae mu
Omanhene last year December and Ghana tuya $709 million ne euro bond wa I was say ekutuyaka the euro bond no aka no for yata ne wadwani oje no na ba ku biam sa ka be 2 years asese ama na so na o say ekutu
na mature
na o say ekutuyaka enti YMCA tuya at the rate of I think 10.7 or thereabouts.
Okay.
It we are 10.7 thereabouts, equal amount to almost 8 billion Ghana cedis. Because dollar number form. So now dollar number form one. You bet you within the region of 13 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
But that's what I say. Tim first over acquire a what dollar when he say Omanhene car here dear.
That's right.
This thing can over see this in be $dollars they go to your money can over see the kit to wire.
Okay.
But that's what I say. Yen you say Omanhene car near the be bringing a dear bedroom baby I do because at a point in time you have to put mama and saying to me be some man because a car mini. The end before jai car. Dollar back from now. A boy mo car mudi jai ni tuya. Yes, a $1 kakra bi na de atua.
Okay.
Omanhene and obi anu se fu obo abafo. You see, first no se fu obo kosoro a. Trotro divers say ye to lorry film because fu obo ekosoro meboa. At least as an indicator and ameboa. One say yes you fu obo akosoro nti ye to lorry film and ameboa. Ye tum. And ne fu obo abafom. Nti minu ye say do
abafom so
meba. Obe o de kan buy. We dey say ni fuel la no otobra na MPP wo ho no. First no wo de sika bebre na eto nwo nto bebre sa na ne tanka e ma. Ne ka asafo ni gu ho ya we. Onim. Trotro ni meba. Trotro ni no so meba. So say fuel dollar na bo na akosoro. Ye ya to lorry fame. And a dollar na bo na abafom. We say ye nte so sa na oka. What does it tell us? I just say a human nature. It could even be politics.
Speak to the man.
It could even be politics. It could be say be a nipa be no person who go abey no masintia. First no an can bo no course road yanke but you may now from there. And you buy na be again, no, I'm saying it could even
it could be
yes, it could even be. No, it could even be. My just what I say. Again, you should tell him say, you're running free marketer, and you're buying and control the reduction of prices. But at least, and confirm himself who are able to afford. It will be anti-swap when you say you're buying, will be an intimate day. I had my just what I say. Oh, can I just battle me. No. I buy responsibility. Oh, no. So I buy what they also are. I buy also what this is a send a buyer fool on
now. So I buy no to an amount so be better swap. I know what say, do you also complaining say national security at Tiago Montenegro? Meanwhile, yes, see. Abanu nye bibi wo.
Yes, abana na afamu de.
E na abanu fi say kwan a wo mo ama petrol no bo aba fom no mo nte so no. E ye twamre bo ma Ghana fo. International security nkom no nhwe bibi.
Yes, because
you are complaining.
Oman no hwade wa.
Mo am so na mo say aban no anhwe me so nte.
The lorry fare kofo mo. Eye mo manfo. But the issue ne say here aban bi a okoye, ene aban bi a oho. O masem ne ye ken. And then PP, yeti petrol showa. Transport unions no ni ministry of transport. And a transit.
Say we no
omo wahine.
Okay.
Meba.
Omo wahine.
No.
Matros.
And omo ni transport.
I was on the Mami Cheno.
You see, me time.
Allow. Mami, you have the time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Transport unions no omo ye rent seekers, private people. Only omo tenasia omo pa. About intimi share transport unions is omo tell affairs. You know there's no legislation to that effect.
Yeah, but I buy most of it that not is able to negotiate.
Yes, good neighbor. A collegial conversation. What him masina means.
Yeah, he's able to negotiate.
Yes, we make a move. In you don't blame about I buy the and say over say dollar begin a year. Taxes are free, so nothing any boaba from and no I buy why they why at least Ghana for you say I buy a fool boaba from. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
But also what I say. More time no dollar no never through obi anim say more homode. And you can't Ghana for a to abatiam. But Omanhene, you see, I am making this very important point. Ghana statistical service. Omo last quarter report for a new marketing for consumer Ghana Hannibal. Omo your comparison in 2024 and 2023. We will be to say nyadoa. Nibo bar form by 56%. We are missing documenting the amount. Omo listed no maybe to say cabbage, tomatoes, okra say a buyer by 39%, a reduce by 39%. Now first ni ton iron rods ni bo 1 ton you almost be 9,000 something. And then sanity and you almost be 7,500, 7,300 1 ton for iron rods because dollar na form. Who doesn't know this? POP cement cement papa kra ne aba ebi no ton 65. 70. First kwaya ko 120. Match also what I say. So men tena hanka say bibia bo swat. But at least
but certain major components.
Who bibi e kire say aban to anamo bia e di no mabo eba for. Me last issue you see I wanted to speak about different but men of our as a rebata. Electricity Company of Ghana omiye multi-year increment in tariffs. Multi-year. Open see the cocoa check. Me matter fact in 2022. Bra PLC muko ra World Bank program any IMF program we multi-year increase. Moto electricity mu 27% and a motu insumu 15%. This time, 22% and 22% for electricity, 9% for water. The last time I set increment by, I say 2022, you can check. So even within your time, that was what you used to do. What do they use this one for? Almost one more day, but Debbie. Debbie. You see, there are two things I was over. Yeah, war. Annual PU as increment on me, $1 cost any home can
say the Nancy on the buy.
And on more the friend multi-year and will be a 4 years. I know ya
2 more
4 years. Almost to 2 feed transformers any a home can. I feed the only the entire buyer. Opako kind IMF December 2024 staff level reporter MPP for DJI. The quarterly increment in electricity tariffs. I am a program program.
Yeah. So maybe
yes, but me, an adjustment. See, me, these things, no. You see, politicians here, me argue about this. As a student of political economy, electricity bill, no, and so obey and the baby. Sometimes I struggle to do electricity in water because matna abrochiri.
Rapper finally for me in MPJ.
On tina abrochiri in fact in shoe in electricity.
And yeah,
you know. But also what I say. Into the year politics, make I say, says our opposition. For second for big more now swapper. And we no any problem. But Ghana for what I say. See, I can't any big generation. Near be triable. Now, put out the IMF. Man, na ye to us our born. I mean, what is it? Clearly, you make any answer. I don't know what Shaman before. I'm when you don't undermine Mamma near DC. A bomb home. Ghana for Etias here. Anything I may say, MPP dear, a good. Yeah, I go.
At one point, those NPP, at another point, those are Fenyo Libiguno.
Oh, your problem to the Eguno.
Okay, was a Fenyo Libiguno. I mind the answer, Ambrose car, baby, and no car between 2024 2025. When you say name and no casting. A bro, ya crack about 500,000 metric tons of a brew for 2025. A 67% increment over the 2024 report. Honorable
Ambrose Amwa Asia, former DC Apajancha West District, and Honorable Hajiman Siedu, also the former DC Apajancha. I was your former. Did you DC Hannibal? Yabenda Ya Grace, directing affairs together with Simon, Nana, Michael Barton, and then Elijah doing the sound. Kukua Jando, Dominic, Akosia Somwa, and all the entire team. We say thank you for staying with us. PK also helping with the floor and all and sundry. We say thank you for staying with us. Honorable, what's in the camera? Thank you very much. And have a wonderful day. God willing, we meet same time tomorrow. I am saying bye-bye.